Okay, so I think we're good to go over to the video now. Cool. It did not crash. Yeah, no, like OBS it does the weirdest thing sometimes. So like if I have it running but not streaming, after a few minutes it'll just crash. But as long as I'm streaming it doesn't crash somehow.
Huh.
I like it's weird. I'm working on like I think I want to get a new I'm working on probably getting a new computer soon cuz mine's starting to show its age a little bit, especially with Premiere, and I need to be able to edit stuff.
How many, like, I know the phone generations when it comes to Apple products
Yeah.
are insane, like the level that they churn those out. What
Mm.
is that comparably to laptops? Like, how often do they crank out a new computer?
What do you mean? Like how often do I need to buy a new one?
No, not necessarily how often do you need to buy one, but is there a newer version of like
Oh,
a Mac computer that's like the newest?
I'd say at least, if not every year, probably every 2 or 3 years.
Really?
It's not as often as your phones are.
Well, also, I mean, it's not all. It's also like not nearly as hyped because you never
No.
hear about that. But
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
what's nice about Apple stuff, at least with their computers, is like unlike their phones, the computers last forever. Like my aunt. Oh, also, you're seeing the gameplay, right? It's not.
oh, hold on.
It's not dropping frames or anything because it should be. Um.
I needed to refresh the.
Oh, okay,
page.
yeah. But no, so like Apple, like my aunt, she used her Apple laptop from the 90s or early 2000s until like 2010 or something. Like it's insane. No, they're very durable and they last a long time. Like my computer that I use, or at least my laptop, I've used. It's late 2013 and I still use it and it works fine. So like it's pretty good, and I did get it with like a really beefed up specs, but either way, no, it's good stuff. Like I like Apple in terms of like their computers and stuff. Some of their more recent things is it's a little more controversial, just because of how ports. It's always ports and charging cables.
Yeah, it seems like
There's a really funny college humor video on one of them on specifically on charger cables.
Oh yeah.
That I love, but yeah, that's a fun video to look up. Is the gameplay looking good?
I have to forward to.
I'm seeing it's looking good. I just want to make sure, because right
Yeah.
now we are in Turtle Rock.
I had to fast forward to like the
Oh, okay.
into the gameplay because it was the screen.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
A while.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
It's funny because like right now, so we're in Turtle Rock, which is, it's the last dungeon that you're supposed to do, but I have the stuff to do it, so why not?
did you stop after like 4 minutes and 40 seconds?
Is it not showing anything?
Hold on. Okay, there we go.
So are you
yeah,
seeing
I had
me?
to click over to the live one. I'm seeing it live.
Okay, cool.
So,
Yeah, so I'm
live.
currently in like a cave area.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that means it's working. But no, it's like, it's interesting the way I'm doing things. Of course, this dungeon's really tough, but I'll make it work.
Are you currently in a room with, or you just left a room with chain chomps?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, that means the delay is very low, which is excellent. I'm getting
Watch
a
out
good bit rate and everything, so.
It looks good on my end.
Yeah, I'm not getting any frame drops or anything, so it should be fine. But no, like it's I don't know, computer stuff. It's just they're all expensive, and I would make my own Windows computer, except I just don't care for Microsoft that much. Even
That's
though
understandable.
I could build a really nice Windows PC, except I hate Windows, so.
Yeah, that's fair.
And plus, if you're a designer, Macintosh is the way to go anyway. Like
I would have to agree.
It's
with that.
one of the main like reasons to get a Macintosh. So.
Yeah, for a lot of people, it's like Coke or Pepsi, but for me, it's like whatever's available.
Yeah,
Whatever
yeah.
I need it for, whichever project I'm doing. I'm not one of those people who sells out to like a certain brand.
No.
Nothing else ever.
And I personally
You know?
enjoy both Coke and Pepsi, except I don't drink either, which is the funniest part about that.
Have you ever tried Kepsi or Poke?
No, but I've heard Beppis and Conch are good.
It's where you mix. It's where you mix them.
Oh, I have not.
Just to the purist, that's insanity. But I like mixing sodas, and Coke and Pepsi.
Oh no, I
is
know
not
you
bad.
I know you like mixing sodas. I really want to do one of those videos with you sometime. That sounds like a lot of
Oh
fun.
yeah, absolutely. I'll go to World Market and find the weirdest stuff I can. Jonah got me some weird sodas for Christmas that I drank down my ready supply of.
I just left
And
the dungeon.
some of them were very good, and other ones were a little bit medicinal.
Those older ones, especially with like the vinegar or whatever it is, I don't like. Let's see. I should. I need to check the map and figure out where that treasure chest is, because I have the big key, and so that means I can get the. Okay, I need to go downstairs. Downstairs. That's a funny term for this.
Downstairs.
I forget what I was watching, but it was like somebody made a comparison about it was maybe a video game character, and they're like, this guy looks like he takes the Coke test seriously or whatever it is. It's like the campaign they did in the 90s where they gave people both Coke and Pepsi and they had to say like which is better.
Oh.
It's like it's so funny. I'm just like, okay, whatever.
Blindfolded. Well, that's almost what I did for the last challenge, where we wrote the answers on the undersides of the cups and then had to drink them without knowing what it was. And it was fun. It was fun not knowing which flavor
I
we were
bet.
going to get. Yeah, it was a grand old time.
My aunt lives out in like one of my aunts. She lives like out in the middle of nowhere. And she like there's this really like we'll have to go sometime because it's super cool. There's this cool hardware store that she works at, and they have like shelves and shelves of soda, different things.
Really?
Yeah. So like all these old fashioned ones too. So like that'd be a really good place to buy a bunch of stuff to try it out.
That is interesting because there is a hardware store.
Well, I say hardware store, but it's like literally everything almost except for
like a general store.
I mean, it's mostly hardware. Like, they don't have things like electronics, but they've got toys, candy, all sorts of stuff.
I can say general store, but when all I think of when I hear the words general store is like some dusty cowboy with a beard and like a gold tooth there. Well, howdy, partner. Welcome to the general store.
You know, it's not too far from that, except it's it's a Midwestern accent instead of the Western.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, I always found it fascinating that, like, you know, living in Columbus my entire life.
Yeah. In
and around that area, like.
Well, because people make the jokes that it's like country, and I'm like, this is not the country if you think if you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, an outsider's perspective. I mean, if you go north or south, I feel like of Columbus, you start getting some accents. But I always felt like Central Columbus.
It's the most it's the most bland thing. Yeah, no, like
bland.
it's
like it just sounds like someone
it's probably the most
dictionary.
It's probably the most palatable as well. Although like we've still got like ope and everything, which I think is sort of weird because I don't say like I don't pronounce like the P in that. I always say like O, but I never put a P on the end. I don't know.
For what?
Like, you know, like the joke that like Ohioans say ope when like you run into them or something.
I specifically my brand of that is oop. It's like a U.
Oh, okay.
It's like, oh, sorry.
Either way, that's like
it's all one
it's
word,
like a joke.
Too. It's
yeah.
not 2 words. It's sorry.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think it's funny. There's one video that like it was basically a it was sort of like these are all of the different states like stereotypical phrases sort of video. And there's
I think I probably saw the thumbnail for that.
I
watched part of it.
In one of my classes last semester, there's somebody who's from Minnesota, and like
Minnesota.
Yeah, and so like I go there occasionally, and she confirmed this. Apparently, when like if you like fall down or like somebody like trips or something in Minnesota, they say oopska.
Oopska?
Yes. And I think that's so
What?
cool. I wanna adopt that in Ohio because it sounds so fun.
Oopska.
Oopska.
What is that? What does that mean? Like, if
Oops.
someone else trips, not you, but someone else.
Well,
trips,
I
you
guess
say
if I guess
oopska?
if I don't know actually. She just said
Would
that's like, or in general, like it can be you or
I mean, is that like, oof?
I
That's what
guess.
I would use it for. That's what I would analogize.
It sounds like it, but more Scandinavian, which does make sense.
Oopska. It's the Russian influence in Alaska, man. They're gonna cross over.
Oh, I'm not doing well. These things are annoying.
So, remind me again which Legend of Zelda game that this is.
This
is
is
2?
so this is like 3, even though they don't go by numbers. This is
Well, yeah.
yeah, this is A Link to the Past. So it's the first and only SNES game. The only one. They only released one on the whole console.
That's surprising. How long was the SNES like a thing?
Until about 96.
So from when to when? Do you know when SNES started? Because I mean, Nintendo
early
historically-
90s.
I feel like Nintendo's known
think.
nowadays as like how they release.
Yeah,
franchises
no, like
with
it's
new consoles,
it's-
but I
it's-
didn't know how old that mentality went back.
No, it's early 90s. Like some of the latest games on the console were released when the N64 was already out. And so like for example, in Donkey Kong Country 3, you can see Cranky Kong playing Mario 64.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's actually really cool. Yeah, so like there tends to be a little bit of overlap, but this is like early. I think this is 94. I'm probably saying it wrong, but like yeah, something like that.
Wow, 4 years older than me.
Yes.
That's crazy.
That would make it 6 years older than me.
And it looks great.
No, it does. Like there are definitely better looking games on the console, but it does look really good. I'm a big fan.
I also feel like, comparatively to whichever game came before this one in the Legend of Zelda franchise.
Oh well, actually, so do you know anything about Zelda 2?
Very little.
So Zelda 2 is actually like one of the black sheep of the family. It's an RPG. It's an action RPG. So it's like you have an overworld, but you don't actually fight enemies on it like in the first game or in this one. You basically hit an enemy sprite in the overworld, and then it becomes a 2D scrolling game, like combat screen.
What?
And so the dungeons are 2D.
Really?
Yeah, the dungeons are 2D as well. So like you have a jump button, you can level up your magic and attack. It's really
I've ever seen
it's really
gameplay of
interesting,
that
and
ever.
it's I mean it's not like obscure or anything because it's fairly well known for how different it is, and it's not terrible. It's like just because they didn't know where they were going with the series.
They hadn't
after the
cemented
first
their style
Yeah,
yet.
exactly. So like that's why this
They weren't
game is
they weren't married to the original concept as the be all end all yet.
Yeah, and so I mean, and a lot of games were like that too. So like it makes sense, and so that's sort of I mean, it's a hard game. I haven't even like I've beaten it, but only when I've used cheats to max out my levels. It's very difficult, but it's still like it's good in its own way. It's just different for a Zelda game.
I had no idea that they did that.
You know in Smash Brothers Melee, or in any of them that have the big temple level.
I think so.
It's like that massive one, with all the different architecture and stuff. Basically,
Maybe.
the main theme that plays from there is from Zelda 2, so like you might recognize that.
Huh.
Yeah. Either way, no, it's an interesting title.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you how the items compare between the last game and this one, because remember I watched your playthrough of the first Legend of Zelda game.
Yeah, it
it seems like
totally
this one has so many new items.
It does. They are very different. So like this one obviously has at least 3 times as many items.
Wow.
So in the first game, if I'm remembering correctly, you have the blue and red candles, which are effectively the same item, except the red candle you can use more. You've got the magic rod, you've got boomerang, sword, bombs, stepladder, which isn't really a weapon per se. You've got the bow and arrow, the recorder, and the meat. And like most of those items don't even have they have like one function, and that's about it.
Right.
And so it's interesting. The um, yeah, there's a lot more diversity here,
So
for
let me
sure.
ask you that. Let me ask you this as a more definitely a more Legend of Zelda fan than I am because of
Yeah,
my lack of ever playing them.
I was gonna say
You know,
have you played any of them?
I think I played um a demo, like 3 minutes of Skyward Sword
Oh, okay, like
at
back when it
like a
was
Best
new.
Buy when the game got released.
Yeah,
Like it
yeah,
was on one of those like
the
corner capper
kiosks.
stations where they let you play
Mm-hmm.
Wii games. I think it was like the Wii U released Skyward Sword or something weird. I
No, no,
don't
it
remember.
was the original Wii.
It was the original Wii.
Mm-hmm.
Well, regardless, I think I played like 3 minutes of that.
Okay.
But beyond that, no, I never played them, and there's a very specific reason, is
Mm-hmm.
because when I started getting into watching gameplay
Mm-hmm.
and I started wanting to make my own games,
Mm-hmm.
I knew that if I played or watched people play too much of that stuff, that I would accidentally start ripping
I
off.
think I remember you telling me about this actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just not, and not maliciously either. I just wanted to leave myself open to develop my own concepts for games without
Yeah.
carbon copying things or being inspired by something and having it be directly from the game and then being like, oh, well, I probably shouldn't do this now because people are going to say, yeah, you stole that from such and such a game.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at least I'd be able to tell them truthfully, hey, actually, I've never played those games.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to believe me or not, but my conscience is clear. I came
Yeah.
up with that on my own. But
Ooh, what did I just get? That's probably
what is that?
I forget. But it's important. I can tell it's important. It wasn't.
It was a red marble in a glass jar.
Yeah, so it was either. I already have the charge beam. It was either the spazer. I don't think it was the spazer, or it like I don't think it was the gravity suit. But if it was, then that's actually amazing. The gravity suit looks like a stack of space pancakes. So I don't think that's what it was.
What I was gonna ask is with the second Legend of Zelda game,
Mhm.
how it was an RPG,
Yes.
and because the first game, what is the first game defined as? It's not an RPG.
It's adventure, sort of
an adventure game,
action adventure.
So when you look at a game like the newest Legend of Zelda game,
Mhm.
you look at Breath of the Wild, which compared to the original Legend of Zelda formula has some of the same things in it, but is definitely very different. It's
Mhm.
like a Skyrim open world hybrid.
Yeah,
There's
it's got a
crafting,
lot of the same DNA, but it's very different.
right. So what I'm asking is like compare that change to the change of making Legend of Zelda an RPG. Like,
Mm-hmm.
do you think why are people more open now to the Legend of Zelda franchise doing other things as comparatively to when the second game came out and people were like, no, this is all wrong.
I
want
think
an adventure game.
more so. I mean, the second title was still like popular at the time.
Right.
I think more so it's just the fact that it's like, more so that now that it's like obviously very established and successful. I think that's why. Also,
That people are willing to be okay with it being different.
Yeah, and I mean like, there are actually like tons of Zelda games that are each considered like different for their own reasons. Like,
Right.
Majora's Mask is one specifically that's always been. It was originally like disliked by a lot of people, myself included, just because of how different it was.
Right.
But now it's like one of the most beloved games in the series, and it's interesting just the way they're all favored in different ways.
Well, I mean, I think that shows that you've really struck gold is when you can, even if to use another Nintendo example, like a Mario character, where you can have them in not just a different setting, but the gameplay itself is different.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Still love the game. I think that speaks volumes about the world building, the character building.
Definitely,
you know,
yeah.
the fact that people love the franchise so much that it doesn't matter if it's the same as the other games, they're there because of the character and the story and everything. Because, I mean, a lot of people nowadays, I feel like gameplay has been elevated so much where everyone wants an experience when they play, and that's what all the big titles are going for.
Yeah.
Is to, like, look at a Red Dead Redemption 2 or something like that, where it looks so realistic, all the cinematic shots, it looks like something out of a Western movie. But at the same time, like, if they tried to make a pixelated RPG of Red Dead Redemption, people would probably freak out and not be okay with that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I just think it shows... I think that shows that you've created something really cool, is when you can change up the formula and experiment with new styles of play, so that way you're not stuck making the same thing over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah, definitely. Also, I think I'm going to give up on that dungeon for a while, because I need the lamp. And I can't... So, like, there are these dark rooms, and you obviously can't see if you don't have light, so that's...
Right, I watched last stream of you playing the randomizer, and you happened upon some lucky breaks, but annoying. I know that you were looking for a lamp.
Yeah, it's a pain. And, like, since I have the fire rod, if I can randomly find a torch to light, it doesn't matter, but that's not normally the case. Right. Especially because there are rooms, like, later on in the game that just have invisible floors, and so, like, even if I knew... Like, I just don't know the layout.
Those sand guys look like, oh gosh.
The Moldorms?
What was the game from... Maybe the meatballs.
Yeah, those are Moldorms.
Yeah, they look like oh gosh, Snake.io.
I remember.
With the eyes.
That was that a mobile game that people would play?
I think it was on
No, it was definitely. Wait, why are you purple? This guy isn't supposed to be purple. What? That's very strange.
He's purple. Dabu dee dabu die.
That song is it's a solid hype. That's a pump up song right there.
The opening song to Iron Man 3.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because it's a flashback to the year that song was popular.
Oh, okay.
It's like a younger Tony Stark.
Oh, interesting.
And Eiffel 60. What's the group? Eiffel 65?
Something. Yeah, it's a French group. Yeah, something like that. I think it is 65.
I thought that said cafeteria instead of crateria.
No.
Welcome to the cafeteria.
I don't know what... Oh, I got the bombs. That's why I didn't recognize it, because those are like an obvious thing that you just get. Now I have...
Did you watch Terminal Montage's
Yes, I did. I love it so much.
Dude,
it's amazing.
I want to see a video for every game from that guy.
They're so, like, his Mario ones are hilarious because Mario's like a speed demon. He's just possessed.
Yeah, he's just a powerhouse that cannot be destroyed.
And then he always slaps Bowser.
So long, Bowser! Thank you so much for playing my game.
I love that voice clip because, like, Martinet, he's like, thank you so much for playing my game. Like, he adds like an extra syllable in there. It's really funny.
Charles Martinet, the real OG, baby.
But no, yeah, Terminal Montage is fantastic. I think I first saw his Breath of the Wild one, and then I've been glued to them ever since. They're amazing.
Where Link cooks up that superfood.
Yeah.
Just destroys Ganon.
No.
In every form.
Well, it's interesting. Like, I've actually done this myself. Whenever you can obviously, once you get off the plateau, you can go anywhere.
Right.
And so what I've done is you can go straight to the castle. Because there's like there's a secret boss, or not, sort of a boss, in the dungeon of Hyrule Castle, where you can actually get the Hylian shield, which is the best shield in the game. And so you can go there, like, right away, just dodge everyone, and then defeat Stalnox, and then you get the best shield, like, right off the bat. And so that's something I've done before, just because it's like, really nice.
It probably makes the rest of the playthrough easier.
Oh, yeah, for sure, because, like, it still has durability, but you can get more of them. If there's, like, a side quest you can do to get more.
And
even,
you know what? I think
it's just cool because, like, if you know how like the parry system and all that. Do you know how that works?
Yeah.
If you can do that, you can defeat anything super easily. Like what are the The octopus things. I forget. Why am I forgetting? No. The mechanical ones.
Oh,
why am I forgetting?
Things.
Why am I forgetting?
The Sentinels? I don't know.
Either way, you can defeat those like ridiculously easy. Because you can parry their lasers.
What I was gonna say is I appreciate the fact
Where
that...
am I going?
I have no idea.
I need to figure this out.
In
Go
Legend
on.
of Zelda games, how like your dependence on tools and a wide variety of tools, the fact that he doesn't have every tool that he needs readily available to him. Where I appreciate that, and then they litter them around the world. That forces you to explore.
They're called Guardians. That's why I didn't remember.
To find a tool in order to complete a challenge. I appreciate the fact that, like, they admit, like, your protagonist doesn't have a multi-tool that can just do it all. Sometimes you have to go out and find something very specific.
Yeah.
But in an open world sense, where you actually need to go locate it yourself and find it, I think I appreciate that aspect of it.
Yeah, it's definitely cool.
Your hero doesn't automatically come with everything they need to beat everything in the game.
Interesting. Okay. So I don't want to go to the Skull Woods, but I might have to go to the Skull Woods so the dungeon that that red pendant right there in the bottom left, that is
I thought it looked like a turnip, but continue.
What? Okay, anyway. So that's that is a dungeon that I've done most of already, except I think I got stuck.
Was that the water one?
No, I did the water one already. I guess I'll go to the woods. I haven't gone there yet. I might as well.
Might as well go to the Skull Woods. What have I got to lose?
That reminds me of the Winnie the Pooh movie. Do you know what I'm talking about? When they're looking for Christopher Robin and everything, and they call school Skull, and it's like terrifying. That movie scared me when I was a kid.
Wait, which movie?
Well, there were multiple movies.
Right, I thought you meant the newest one that.
Oh no! I'm talking like old ones.
Okay, I must have missed that one because I've seen the original Winnie the Pooh movie.
I think
with the Heffalumps and Woozles sequence.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, because there was also a cartoon that I watched.
Okay. Well,
I don't know.
Think that Disney came out with another animated Winnie the Pooh like several years.
I don't know. Either way, good shit.
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh is great. Whoever the people who did the whole Heffalumps and Woozles things took a page right out of the pink elephant sequence from Dumbo, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Get their heads checked. Mm-hmm. That stuff is scary.
Oh yeah.
That was like some Tim Burton stuff. I laughed audibly when
Skeleton
I found
chicken.
out that they got like the fact that they got Tim Burton to direct a live-action version of Dumbo.
That's amazing.
Audibly, because I just thought to myself.
Well, because it's Tim Burton.
If there was one director that you wouldn't want to give that to.
Exactly.
That has all those creepy sequences in it. It's Tim Burton.
Yeah.
The fact that they were like, how could this go wrong?
It couldn't.
This won't be bad. I actually didn't see it, so I withhold my
judgment. I haven't either.
Let's just say I didn't hear anybody praising it after it came out. Let's put it that way.
Out of all the remakes that I've seen, I haven't actually... Or, like, out of all the remakes that there have been, I haven't seen many of them.
What are your opinions on that? Or do you have any? Because I know you're probably not
not really
passionate about movies as I am, maybe. But I mean, like,
I always make the joke that, like, as a film student, I'm not really into film, but I am sort of. Like, I've been more so recently, obviously, because I'm studying it. Like, or just video production in general. But like, I think there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with the remake. Like, I'm personally really excited to see the Mulan remake because it's a different take on it. It's not going to be the same thing, which I think is interesting. And it's also, like, that's sort of where things, like, sort of naturally go, because obviously there's no such thing as making a new thing anymore. Because, like, all the archetypes are used, and so it's either make more of what already exists or just make more of what's already there because that's what makes money. And so that's sort of just the sad reality of how it is. And so like that's something. Like I mean, it's bound to happen, so I can understand it.
I mean, again, like I kind of agree with you where I don't get frustrated at the fact that remakes
that they
happen,
exist,
because
yeah.
that's bound to happen, and sometimes, it's not impossible.
I just think
that
like
a remake would
I guess
be good. Like
more so for criticism's sake. Like I'm trying to actually think of one that I've seen that like, because like there's one thing to just update it and make it suitable for a modern audience, which I think is like fine, kind of like unoffensive. Like what's wrong with that? But then there's like when you remake something and make it worse. Like I can think of
or
because that happens with video games.
Right. Or remake something that doesn't
need to be remade. Yeah.
I think that's what it comes down to for me. Well, part of it does. The other part of it is after a certain point, specifically with Disney's remakes.
Oh, I forgot about those.
Ooh.
Those are Wall Masters.
I remember that name.
If they grab you, you get taken back to the start of the dungeon.
Ooh, fun.
And they constantly spawn, so you just have to always worry about them.
Nice.
It's great.
I started. Let's see. What was the first Disney remake? Was Cinderella? I think that was their first remake, and that was probably back in. I think that was probably like 2014. That was a while ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. It was either that or Maleficent, which wasn't really a remake.
Not really. That was just a...
So, yeah. I don't know.
Oh, hello. Big key.
I would have been fine if they had done one remake and then, like, 3 years later did another one. The thing that I had a problem with was when they started cranking out remakes.
Yeah.
That's what started getting me frustrated. Because the old animated movies were done with so much passion and so much time put into the animation. And obviously, like, because technology is advanced, making movies for kids is easier. It just is.
Yeah.
Like, you have set models that you can move around in an environment. It's easier. However, once I felt like Disney... their eyes went all wide and they realized, oh, we can slap the name of an old property on something we crank out in 6 months or less because it's all live action, and people will go to see it because of nostalgia.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, Disney's a business. People need to calm down a little bit. They have people that work for them that need food. They need to get paid. I get it. They're a business. And people need to calm down a little bit on that. But, again, I didn't feel right about how I felt like almost my nostalgia was for sale, where it's like, I don't want to be used. And
that's understandable.
I'll watch those if someone tells me they're good, but, I'm far less likely to see it in, say, theaters, because it's like, I just don't care. I like the original. I don't feel any... compulsion to go see this because I don't feel that it's connected to the original. Like, with like the Lion King, for example. Why did we need a remake of the Lion King? That
was one that's definitely arguably like not as good. Just because obviously
I haven't actually seen it, but as soon as I saw the trailer for it, I was like,
the thing that I first thought of was like, why does it look more natural with better looking graphics? Like the fact that these animals are talking and everything, like, it just didn't look, it just didn't, like, I think that was definitely better suited for animation.
It kind of sucked all the magic out of it. And I don't know. I'll see them if people tell me that they're good. If someone watches it and there's a recommendation, they say it's a good movie, I'll go watch it. But, like, I don't know. After a while, with all the remakes, I just get tired of hearing about them, where it's just like, can we please make something new?
And
like,
this year had, like,
for Pete's sake.
Especially, like, 2019 was definitely a year of remakes, for sure. I can confirm that, like, working at the theater and everything, like, we got so many of them.
Yeah. And, I mean, other companies try to do it, but they're... Other companies who have movies from the 80s try to, like, let's bring back Predator, and
that one was not good.
let's bring back
That was a bad one.
Rambo.
Yeah.
And it's like, listen, or Alien, and it's like, listen, Disney even isn't getting all their remakes. Like, all their remakes have not been striking gold necessarily.
Yeah.
I did hear that Aladdin did very well. I
It
did go
did.
to see that.
It did do very well.
That was another one where I just legitimately didn't care that they were making it again. I have no interest. It also just confuses me because the entire concept of making movies live action seems almost reverse of who your main audience should be.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I don't know. As a kid, I 9 times out of 10 would prefer to watch a cartoon movie over a live action movie.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm sure there are other kids where that's not the same, but, like, are there really kids lining up to, like, go see a live action movie? Like, I feel like cartoons captivate younger audiences better. And that's when my mind was like, oh, wait a minute, are they trying to get people my age in the theaters as the primary audience? Because it is a retelling of an old story when we were kids.
Mm-hmm.
But I would argue that it just...
I mean, I think there's more of, like, a dual thing going on. Because you've got, like, both of those audiences there.
And, like, the people my age are having kids. Maybe they'll take their kids to see it. And
yeah.
I don't know.
Like, bottom line, it's a Disney movie. I mean...
Yeah, it'll make money because it has the Disney label on it. But I don't know. The remakes, I get tired of remakes.
Yeah.
Like, I was very hesitant about watching Toy Story 4 with my family.
That was actually really good.
Right, and
I liked it a lot.
Was good. I enjoyed it, but at the same time, I had this gross feeling when I started watching it. I was just like, I feel like I'm being manipulated. Like, back in Toy Story 3, you made us think this was it. That's the end. We're done taxing your nostalgia now. And then now it's back, and we're like, ugh. I don't know if I trust you.
And like especially given like what they did with the characters in that one, it makes sense too. Like with the whole nostalgia thing.
I just feel like I didn't. The best way I can describe it is I did not want to reward a lack of creativity and a lack of originality. I want to reward originality when it comes to movies. Even a big company like Disney, if you make a new property, a new story, I'm more inclined to go see it. Frozen 2. Heard it was a good movie. I have no interest in seeing it just because you put a number 2 on it. Like, you can't make me care just because you made a sequel. Like, make new stuff. You're Disney, for Pete's sakes.
Yeah. And there's also the fact that like all the animated movies now look the same, and it bothers me.
Yeah, I mean
that's a blanket statement. Like that's pretty general, but like. I'm not totally wrong in saying that.
Disney specifically, they found, oh gosh, what would have been their first project together? Tangled?
Yeah, it's the Tangled look. That's exactly what I'm thinking about. They all look the same now.
Tangled, then Big Hero 6, which is in my opinion one of the best.
I actually haven't
Disney
seen that one.
movies.
Somebody in my dorm this semester, like that's his favorite
Disney
thing.
Movie. It's like the most unorthodox Disney movie you will ever see.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like there's no love interest. The plot is moved by friendship and loss of. Well, I don't want to. No spoilers. I won't spoil anything if you've never seen it. But I will say it does not comply to a lot of Disney tropes.
That's cool.
It's not a musical, which is fine. But I thought it was really moving, and it's a beautiful film. First of all,
cool.
Because like I love that animation team. Like even though that seems to be what Disney's only doing now is that style, I think it'd be cool if they branched out a little bit. Yeah. Obviously, since I draw, I want them to do another 2D movie, but I realize that's probably never going to happen. Even though the following is there for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Princess and the Frog was a gorgeous movie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Their last 2D venture. I mean, people would go watch it. I mean, if Disney said, "Hey, we're taking our time to make a 2D movie. Will you go see it?"
Yeah.
The response, I'm sure, would be incredible, because there's just something about that style, man. Like 3D is great and all, but 2D.
But there doesn't mean. Yes. You know.
You know. No, I'm saying.
I always like just like walking up to a group of people and be like, you know, and then just not saying anything, and then expecting that they know, because they must know, right?
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
And then you're like, you know, though.
You do know, though. So, what are you currently after in this game?
So I'm currently trying to finish up this dungeon, because I think I have most of what I need. I have the fire rod, which isn't, like, necessary, I don't think. It's more... At least not for this dungeon, it's not necessary. But it's going to help with the boss. This boss, though, is one of the hardest in the game. And I don't have any potions. It's Mothra. Or Mothula. Sorry. not Mothra. That's a different thing. That is a different thing.
I was so confused and so excited for you to fight Mothra in this game.
No. Different thing.
Ride atop Godzilla to go kill Mothra.
You
Did
know,
you know that that's actually
this,
in the
there is a Zelda game where Link rides on a kangaroo.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't actually watch the newest Godzilla movie. I watched the one from 2016, and there was actually, when they're walking through the irradiated area, Bryan Cranston and whatever the heck the other actor's name is.
Yeah.
When they're walking through that nuclear area and they have their rad suits on and they're walking through like their old house, there is a terrarium with a name in marker on a piece of tape that's stuck to the side of the terrarium that clearly says Mothra on it.
Oh, okay.
And I just thought that was cool. Back in 2016, because I haven't seen like any of the big monster movies, even though
I don't really watch cool. I don't watch many kaiju films.
I think the concept is really neat. Like
I do too.
Genre,
it is pretty
super
cool.
Super odd, but I like it. I do want to watch the newest Godzilla one, even though I heard it wasn't like the best. I'll still watch it. It's not like the 2016 one was a work of art.
Oh yeah, funny story actually. So I at the theater, like I forget exactly like how we got them, but we basically got like giant Godzilla letters made out of like super powerful cardboard. And so one of my classes, or one of my teachers in high school, his nickname was G. And so I got the G, because like once we stopped showing it, they're like, hey, if you want to take these letters, you can. And so I took the G from Godzilla and gave it to him. So now he has a massive,
so cool.
he has like, this thing is taller than me. And it's
really?
it's just sitting in his classroom now, and I love it.
That's super cool. I mean, yeah. Okay, real quick. This kind of ties into our discussion when I was on the show, but I don't think you ever really specifically talked about it. What is the creepiest or coolest experience you had working at the Strand?
Oh.
Like, obviously, there's non-specific stories about.
Well, I
think
I
saw so and so, but like. What was the coolest or creepiest thing that happened working at the Strand?
I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, honestly, like, I was the person where stuff never happened to me. And apparently every other closer had all these crazy experiences, and I'm just like, okay, I thought I misplaced my keys once, or like I thought my keys moved, but I was just being absent-minded because I'm dumb and I forget everything. So, but no, like I'm gonna have to think like, I mean the building is just really creepy in general.
How old is the theater again?
It's over 100 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, like it's the 10th oldest theater in the country. So give it a visit. If you're ever in Central Ohio, just look it up. You'll find it.
I've never actually been to the Strand,
which surprises me because we've like hung out in Delaware a lot, I think.
Yeah, but we've never actually seen a movie at the Strand, which is
it's
surprising.
True. But we can go for free next time. Next time there's something interesting. But that obviously probably won't be happening for a while.
The theater's open and everything.
Yeah, given that we're all under quarantine right now.
Yeah, How have you been handling it? Because I'm curious to hear your quarantine experience.
I'm still able to go out and run, so that's keeping me together. But also the fact that Persona 5 Royal is out, like that's also great.
Right.
For some reason, the auto upload to YouTube doesn't work right now because Google's dumb.
Huh.
So I'm gonna have to wait a little bit.
Gotcha.
Taking a break for water.
Quarantine, I've been working on projects that, I was either working on previously, but just not very hard.
Now's a good time. I want to get some stuff done too, but like right now, I'm just waiting for a month because then I'll be like done with school for the semester, and I can just get work on other stuff.
That's a cool boss design.
It is, but it's also like way too much going on because I've got
the floor is moving.
The floor is moving. There are spikes. He's shooting at me. Yeah, this isn't pleasant. And I also don't have potions, so this is gonna be bad. His hitbox is wonky, and he does a lot of damage.
The playthrough
there's no
I'm
way.
doing right now.
Ugh.
Oh gosh. In the playthrough I'm doing right now, it's kind of funny. The game, Fate the Traitor's Soul, it's kind of interesting where in the overworld, above the dungeons, the NPCs, there's humans, but there's also the monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Are like friendly NPC versions of the monsters, many of which are down in the dungeons that are like your enemies.
Yeah.
And so whenever I see a really cool evil character design, like I just think about seeing it in like a Toby Fox setting where it's just an NPC you could walk up and chat with.
Yeah.
And that's kind of something that I think is cool about the game, is that
for sure.
The characters themselves are so varied.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hello. There's a soldier hiding in the grass.
Whoa, he's just
hiding in the grass.
He's hiding in the bush.
Oh man. Okay, so I'm kind of getting stuck. And it's annoying because like I had a lead when we were starting this stream, and now I'm just like, what are we supposed to do? Because if I had the Pegasus boots, well, okay, so I need one item in Metroid, and if I had that item, I could do so much. Except I don't, because there's a whole area that's basically like all underwater, and I need the gravity suit because it removes gravity in water. I don't know how it works, but okay. And so I need to grab that because that's closing off. Like there's so many items in Meridia that I just can't grab right now, and so that's like annoying.
So right now you need to find the gravity suit.
Yeah, so I need to find. I need to find it. Well, it can be anywhere. So I need to find like just various items so that I can get stuff, so that I have a chance of finding it. Because like I think there isn't much in like there aren't many Metroid like essential Metroid items that I'm missing, and so like that's one thing there. But it's like I don't know.
So like what? These all look like wheels.
This is a graveyard. Bees.
What?
Ah!
Bees! Bees! In terms of difficulty, if you were to look at the overworld map, like what area is easiest that is still available for you to do?
So this is like everything in the light world. I can do just about everything except I need the bow or the lamp for the 2 dungeons I haven't completed here. Aside from that, like, the whole overworld is basically explored. The Dark World is a whole other thing. Like, I can navigate almost everything on my own, except the dungeons is, like, again, where I'm getting trouble. And, like, the main thing is that, like, there are just, like, little items here or there that I'm missing, that I'm forgetting about, which is like what's holding me up, because I hope, like, I'm trying to remember everything, because if I forget one little thing, it could be essential and I'm just like not even thinking about it.
Right. It's
and
like
so
Jenga.
Like exactly. So like I just need to think. Like I think I have, like, for Metroid it's a lot easier for me to visualize because the game's more familiar to me, at least because I played it recently. I haven't played this in a while. And like when you get a difficult item in Metroid, like, you remember where it is because it's like they're very well hidden. And so that's like a thing I have to think about. And here it's like obviously, like, if you explore a dungeon, you know where all the chests are, but the problem is I can't get everything right now. Right. So that's like what's holding me back there. And so it's complicated. I'm just gonna wander around for a little bit because I do have a couple ideas of items I can get.
That's fine.
Because I know there's something over by the graveyard that I can grab. So I'm going to do that. I already did this dungeon right here. This is the Thieves' Town.
Now, when they made... Which game allows you to become the tree version of Link?
The tree
Majora's
version.
Mask?
Oh yeah, Majora's Mask. You mean Deku
That's
Link?
what the trees look like.
Yeah, they do. They do.
They look like
That might be where the inspiration comes from.
There's no mask seller in this, huh?
Nope. There is an octopus.
There's, aw.
Let's see. 5 and 6, you find Great Fairy in the pyramid. Flomp Flomp was a womp. Okay.
True artist.
Yes, the text is different. So basically, the reason the people look like that is because in the Dark World, the people turn into forms that reflect their like inner hearts or whatever. And so normally I'm a bunny, but since I have a special item, I retain my form, which is really important.
Huh.
Yeah, so that's...
The soldiers are pigs in the underworld.
Yes, basically.
Like playoff police officers or something?
Maybe, probably not. Who knows? Also, I need to find a way to get around here. Let's see. Because I know there is one item here that I haven't gotten that I am glad I stumbled upon. If this is the magic powder, there is something I can do. So that would be useful. It would also let me heal a lot easier in dungeons.
Man. I'm just thinking about like Animal Crossing.
Oh man. Everyone's playing that. I'm like the only person who isn't right now.
I have not got that game for the Switch because
I'm already playing so much because like I've got Persona 5 right now and the Final Fantasy 7 remake is out, so I'm just waiting for that to get shipped.
Right. And like also
Ooh,
as far as I'm concerned, I still owe Tom Nook money on my 3DS. Like and so
in New Leaf.
It's basically literally like a debt sim.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I don't know, I just get bored so fast because like on the 2DS, sorry, that's what I have. I basically put my entire island in order first thing because I have like mild form of gaming OCD where I like clear cut everything, you know, not all the trees and stuff, but like I made paths, I cleared all the weeds, I made everything look all nice. And then it's like there's nothing else to do except make money to pay off Tom Nook so you can get a bigger house. And I just like I got lost in the point of the game. I was like, I understand it's supposed to be like relaxing or whatever, but after a while it just gets so old where it's like there's nothing else to do but like fish and wait for fruit to grow that I can sell so I can pay off Tom Nook.
Okay, so I just got you know that mushroom I had? I gave it to that the woman, and she normally gives you magic powder for it, but I did not get an item here. So that means I got something in Metroid, and that might have been what we needed. I'm really hoping it is. It's either like, I mean, I have to go over and see because I know I didn't get anything here. Unless it was a heart piece, I really hope it wasn't. Because that's like the biggest troll this game has thrown at me. I've gotten so many heart pieces, especially for beating bosses too. Like, it's either that or rupees, because what happens is if there's a filler item, it's normally just rupees. So that's why I have over 1,000 of them. Ugh. These things, like, I love doing randomizers like this. And this is my first, like, full dual randomizer.
That's cool.
I've watched so many of these, I sort of know a lot of the tricks.
Gotcha.
And if I'm purple, okay, I'm not purple. Did I get something? No, I don't think so. So it was either... I don't think it was an energy tank. It might have been missiles. So, like, the issue with this is that, like, I need to figure out if I guess I can, like, go through Metroid and comb through the areas I've already been, because I've already been in Zelda for a while.
Right.
Because there's always a possibility I've missed something, so I guess I can do that, because if the gravity suit is here, it'll be worth it to find it. So, I'm also, like, totally overpowered in Super Metroid right now, because I have the spin attack, which makes me invincible when I jump.
I did seem to remember your last stream, how you mentioned that basically with the exception of the gravity suit,
yes,
everything else is done. So like if you can just get the gravity suit, you can get all the items that could help you in
exactly
Zelda.
Yeah, because well, I could also beat Super Metroid right now.
How often did the people that you watched get themselves into positions like this where it's like almost a standstill?
It
Where it's
happened.
like,
No, it happens to everybody because like if you don't have that one item and you don't know what to do, like that's basically it. So you have to find out where the stuff is.
yeah, that seems like it'd be such. Is there ever a situation where theoretically, just because of how things have spawned randomly, is it possible
They're
for the game to
always
generate an impossible?
no.
Playthrough?
They're always solvable.
Really?
Yes. So like
Wow.
I mean I think there is a true random setting, but that's like kind of frustrating if you just get something you can't solve.
Kind of.
A little bit. And so that's something I obviously didn't want to do. And there's also a setting for cheats, or not cheats, but like glitches and stuff. So if you know how to glitch the game, that's also something it'll factor in. But I don't know that many, so I'm just like that's not something I'm doing.
So what are the odds that you actually did miss something though, if you've literally been everywhere?
Oh, it's pretty big because like there are to put it into perspective, in Super Metroid, each missile pack is 5 missiles, and I have 130 of them. There are, I think, like 250 plus missiles in the game.
Wow.
So like that, there are that many missile packs, and so they have to hide all of those. You have super missiles, so you get, I think, 50 max of those.
That
And,
explode,
oh wow!
Just that little extra to make them super.
Yes, so I actually think I have max missiles and power bombs. So that was probably what I got. Actually, I probably got power bombs from that thing.
Oh.
Which is nice because they're useful.
Aren't the bird people, the statue of the bird people, aren't those her people?
No, but I think they raised
Is that a bird person?
Yes, I think they raised her.
I thought they did raise her.
Yeah, I don't know. I've only played the 2D games, so that like I don't know too much of the lore actually, because they're pretty like lore light in terms of, because like with the first 4 2D games, you got the original, you've got Return of Samus on the Game Boy, then you have this, and then you have Metroid Fusion on the Game Boy Advance, and they're basically all a continuous story. And so like that's all I know, because I haven't played Prime or anything, even though they're all apparently really good. I just haven't gotten around to them because they're on the GameCube, and I'm buying other stuff right now, and I need to save money anyway, so.
Doggone financial responsibilities.
I know, right? It's the worst.
Yeah. Well, it's like when it comes to games and books, I always feel bad getting a new one before I've like...
Before you played everything else.
The other one?
Exactly. I'm the same way.
And I know that's unrealistic. There are some games that you don't really...
Yeah.
It depends on how hardcore you are of like a completionist.
Mm-hmm.
Because I try to be as complete in my playthroughs of games, but I try not to let it bog me down to where I'm not enjoying the game anymore.
Yeah.
Like if I'm just getting stuck on something and it's something extraneous that isn't the real story, I don't feel... It's like, what am I earning? Like, oh, the bragging rights among other, like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, who cares? Like, that's such a sad thing to worry about. Like, oh, I gotta make sure I play every single level, like, secret level of Super Mario Galaxy 2. Otherwise, people won't love me anymore.
That's a challenge.
Some of those levels are rage-inducingly difficult.
Yes, definitely.
The tile one.
Oh, I know what you're talking. Like
disappearing tiles,
yeah,
with the purple coins, and it's the shadow guy is following you, all in the same thing.
Yeah, it's tough.
So the shadow guy is following you. You have a time limit, and it's the dissolving tiles, and there are purple coins.
Yeah.
It is the worst thing I've ever played. It's like a hell simulator.
Yes.
It's like, this is so... I think I gave up on that one, honestly. That was after I beat the main game. I was like, I don't need this. I don't need this in my life. I'm done. Peace out, man. I was like, I've spent so much time trying to beat this. It is not worth it at all. I played the main game, loved it. That was over Christmas break. That was right after Christmas. Luke set up the projector in our room for some reason, and he was feeling inspired. It was like the day after Christmas, and we played through Luigi's Mansion all in one day on the Wii in our room, hooked up to a projector. Yeah, it was a blast because both of us love that game, so we like traded off. And then since the projector was still in the room, I just swapped it over to my fresh new copy of Super Mario Galaxy 2 that I got for Christmas.
Nice.
And proceeded to beat it over the next like week.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a solid game. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
It's good. I like it a lot. I think in gameplay wise, it's definitely better than the first one. 2 at least.
I could see that. Yeah.
Like the level design's better. There's a lot more to it, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
With the exception of the special levels, I felt like the normal levels were not nearly as difficult as some of the levels were in the first game. Just the regular levels, like the swimming one, where you have to keep the manta ray.
That one's notorious for being like just a pain in the ass in general. I know what you're talking about.
I hated that so much. So I feel like they maybe relegated their more difficult level designs for the bonus levels. Bonus worlds, which I liked, but overall, yeah, I really.
I never went down here. It's just
secrets.
It's just energy.
Oh, bug on it.
Like I don't normally go down here. I didn't think there was anything because this is normally where you learn how to do this. That's called shine sparking. It's
that was an amazing jump.
It's very cool. And it breaks the game, so that's nice.
Anything you can do to break the game, that's
yeah.
Great.
Well, so like there are a lot of like intentional but not required things that you can do, which is why people like to play this game because you can sequence break a ton of stuff. So basically you can bomb jump, which I know how to do, but luckily I don't need to do it anymore. And then what else? You can shine sparking is another thing. You can wall jump, which is never required but useful. There's also mock ball, which is basically being in a ball but going at your main running speed, which is only used for like 1 or 2 things, which I don't know how to do it. But yeah, like stuff like that is one of the reasons why this game is so loved and also really fun to speedrun. But I'm not a speedrunner.
of like various games that I know by way of Smash Brothers, so not hardly at all. I think I probably know the least about Samus, like the Metroid games.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you know what?
I mean, I said, I know a lot about the 2D ones, not so much the.
Yeah, I think a couple of my friends growing up had the 3D games on their not Game Boy. Yeah. Wait.
No. It wouldn't be on Game Boy. It would be GameCube. Is where most.
GameCube or I know there was one that they released for DS.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't know, but.
Yeah, but that's all. Yeah, I have no connection to that game whatsoever. I never played it. I do know that the ball made its way into Starbound.
Oh yeah, it did. I know that much. That one's fun.
There are a lot of places in that game you can't access without using that.
There are actually a lot of like gaming and specifically like Nintendo references in that game, because I remember in one of the betas there's a sword you can get. It's called like Hero Sword or something, and it shoots beams. It shoots beams like Link's does when you're at like full HP.
Really?
It's really cool. Yeah, like that was one that I found, and that was like early beta.
This is just my opinion, but I personally like Starbound a lot more than I like Terraria.
I like Starbound a lot. I haven't played it much. Even
versions are so good. The newest updated game.
Like
so good.
Wasn't there like a bounty hunter update recently?
Probably
within the past few years.
I haven't played in a while because it's going to be part of my expanded playthrough eventually, and I want it to be fresh.
Yeah.
But like because it's the same art people. Like it was the same artists as Terraria, or at least 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah.
And so I automatically felt connected to it. But then also I just felt it was so much simpler than Terraria was. Like Terraria,
so it is, and it isn't.
Terraria just seemed like the crafting just seemed insanely convoluted.
It isn't really.
Then again, I'm not a super cerebral player.
To be fair, you never made it past, like, you never made it into hard mode even with Terraria. I don't think.
Like, I didn't see the point of the game besides fighting bosses with your friends. Like, that was the extent of, like, what's the point of this game? there's no real story besides killing bosses. Like,
yeah, there really isn't a story to it.
I thought Starbound does a good job of balancing the fact that there is a campaign, there is a story,
and you have your freedom,
but it's not so linear that it holds you by the collar and makes you do stuff in a certain order. It's like, you need this rare metal. The only place you can find it is on these types of planets, and you can go take care of that whenever you get a chance. But otherwise, just screw around, go build a house, like, do whatever you want. But there is an actual story and a plot.
Yeah.
And I always thought I appreciated that.
Yeah, there's a lot that, like, one of my favorite parts about Starbound was customizing your ship and getting all the cool tech as well. Like, there's so much fun stuff you can do with that. You can
have crewmates now.
Is the screen?
Followers.
Oh, really? I think I've seen that. I know there's like a screen teleportation one tech thing. I remember that was in the beta. You could, like, anywhere on screen you could teleport to your cursor. It's like one of the last ones you ever got.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. But that was in beta. I don't know. I don't know if it's still a thing.
I have no idea. But yeah, Starbound's great, man. The score is so.
It is. It's one of my favorite soundtracks. I listen to it at work a lot.
What's like? Not necessarily. I won't ask favorites. Whenever you ask someone favorites, that's always hard.
It is.
Stall and think about it. But like, as far as soundtracks, of the games that you've played more recently, whether they're older or newer games, what's a soundtrack that you'd recommend?
Ooh, okay. So, you played, like, Flash games when you were younger, right?
Yes.
Did you ever play N?
No.
So it's basically like a momentum-based platformer. It's not so much about being speedy, even though you can. It's more like about precision and well-timed and like jumps and stealth and stuff. So basically, you're a ninja and you're jumping around and you're trying to collect. You're basically platforming through levels to get to the goal. And it's got basically on PS4, Steam, all this stuff. It has an enhanced version called N++. And I got that sort of to wait for, like, to have something to play when, like, in my waiting for Persona 5 Royal. And it's got a really cool, like, lo-fi, chill sort of soundtrack to it.
Oh.
It's really good.
I'll have to check that out. And it's very possible that I've seen, like, images from or saw it when I was younger, because I played.
Yeah,
I
the main, like,
indie.
the ninja you play as is just, like, a few, like, basically a few, like, black lines. It's a very simple looking. It's a very sleek game, and I love how it looks. And the soundtrack is basically composed of a bunch of different artists' work.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's not like original music, but it's really good.
Well, I mean, like, I haunted places like Miniclip or, you know, I played my fair share of Flash games. You know, Newgrounds, Stick Page. Like,
yeah.
I played a lot of games that were like that, in that style, very simple. So I mean, it's possible that I've seen images from, or I know what the protagonist looks like, but I don't think I've ever played that. But I'm gonna have to check that. You'll have to put that in the Discord chat.
I think I did. I think I might have linked to it, or I just mentioned that I was playing it. It's very good. So, like, look up N++, and you can also play the original game for free wherever. I think it might have its own website. So that's very good. Also, speaking of Persona, the soundtrack is amazing. Please listen to it. It's so good. Like, the battle themes, a lot of the just, like, normal themes. Like, I guess it's a lot, but, like, in general, Persona always has a really good soundtrack, at least from what I've played.
That's an aspect of games that I feel like gets criminally underlooked.
It's so good. It's like, I've been listening to it. So I played Persona 5 last July, I want to say, and I'm still occasionally listening to the soundtrack.
Oh, well, okay.
Especially now that Royal is out. It's really good.
I mean, that's got some staying power then. I'll have to check that out too.
I think I put a link to one of the new battle themes that's in Royal in the music chat, so you can look that up. It's called Prison Labor.
Over the course of quarantine, early on, I went into my Spotify account and I started revamping my playlists. Like,
I think I saw that because I have a couple of yours, and I saw the artwork changed.
Oh yeah. I went through, edited like my public playlist, the ones that I actually like collated and worked hard to like craft. And an app that I might have to send you so you can send to Cyrus, because he likes vaporwave and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's an app called Vaporgram that
Ooh.
you can do some really cool photo editing on your phone, and then save it and send it to yourself and everything. And that's what I use to make like the majority of what I used
Okay.
as the thumbnails for each of the playlists.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, like my sisters made quarantine playlists.
Yeah.
Alyssa made a funny one called "The End Is Nigh" or "Everything Will Be Okay,"
Mm-hmm.
which is a funny tongue-in-cheek. Like the songs vary from like Bastille, like Doom Days, to
Yeah.
like really chipper, happy. It's a really fun.
That's pretty funny.
Playlist.
Yeah, that's
but,
cool.
I started going through and like working on my own playlists again, because I think that's
It's fun.
even if no one listens to them, it's just fun to work on that. Because so when I was, oh gosh, now I gotta think. Back in 2005,
Whoa.
a family friend of ours, actually before that, before probably 2004 or 2003, a family friend made me a mix on a CD that was called Max Mix, and it had a variation of songs that he was listening to at the time. And at the time, he was a young adult and everything. And then a couple years later, in 2005, he made me another one, Max Mix 2. Well, in the process of us cleaning up during quarantine, like tidying things up, my mom came across the second disc.
Ooh, nice.
Because it had been long lost. And the disc itself is very scratched. Like most of the tracks would not play.
Oh.
But I downloaded Shazam on my phone and was able to get just enough seconds of the songs. So I was able to fully reconstruct the track list on my Spotify.
Oh, that's cool.
Like 100% track for track. All 15 tracks of the second disc have been revived.
Awesome.
And now I'm listening to these songs that most of which I probably skipped as a kid. And I probably had like only 2 or 3 on each disc that I honestly liked.
Yeah.
And as I was listening to it, I was laughing to myself because I was like, a lot of this sounds like the stuff that you were playing for me on our trip back from Kent back to.
Oh, really? Like ska?
I feel like there's some ska in there, some punk rock.
That's great. That's good stuff.
Yeah, stuff where I was just like, to give you some perspective, this guy was the one who introduced my family to They Might Be Giants.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That does make a lot of sense.
I don't think that, like, so Franz Ferdinand, there's some of that on there.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, there's a lot of, you'll have to check that one out then, because all 15 tracks, it's varied.
Yeah, you can put a link in there.
Yeah, the first disc, I'm 95% sure is in our glove box, which is jammed shut right now. So once quarantine's done and we take it in to have that fixed, I'm getting that disc so I can make my first one.
Nice.
But yeah, I was fully able to resurrect that entire track list.
That's great.
From 2005, which I love now, and it's like a great. Because you mentioned to me before that you listen to music by the album.
Yeah, I know. I normally do that.
Which is like.
Is that weird?
So foreign. Well, that's foreign to me. That's just not something that I do or I hear a lot of people do.
No, I normally that's how I've always done it, especially because like when you listen to game music, you normally like just do that. But yeah, like I'll just pick an album and then I'll play it, like all of it, because like I do have playlists, but I wouldn't say I listen to them as much as I just listen to albums.
Right. And like with this Max Mix 2 disc, it's actually weird because there is some form of odd cohesion to it, because all the songs are from relatively the same era.
Yeah.
Even though some of them are faster, some are slower, but regardless, it actually makes for a really pleasant, full album listen through.
That's cool.
If you take each individual, I think there's only one song on there where it's the same artist, but other than that, like it's different artists, all 15 tracks, and
that's cool.
And it actually makes for a really pleasant listen through, as if it were an album.
Nice.
Yeah, I gotta find that first disc so I can reconstruct it, because I was able to discover like you can say rediscover, but like when I was a kid, I didn't listen to music.
Yeah.
I didn't really pay attention. I didn't know what I was listening to, or what was going on. But then once my music tastes have changed, I can fully appreciate the disc now that I'm an adult. Because when I was a kid, like I said,
cool.
there was only like 2 or 3 tracks that I really liked. The first disc has a lot of throwback songs. There's a lot of older songs on the first disc. I started to recreate it on my Spotify. As many as I can remember, I've put on there as like placeholders. But once I can find the actual thing, I'm gonna fully reconstruct that too, because that disc is also looking bad by this point. But yeah, I would not have been able to do that without Shazam.
Okay.
Which it was able, like I said, it was just able to pick up just enough of the notes to be able to reconstruct it, which is great.
Yeah, that is cool.
Also, I found out something the other day that I had no idea. So Gorillaz, the band, the lead singer and only singer, I think, David Albarn, was part of a different music group prior to Gorillaz.
Oh, really?
And one of the songs that he's featured in, and I found Gorillaz completely separately from this disc, and there's a lot of Gorillaz songs that I really, really like. And it just so happens that David Albarn was part of a band called Blur previously to being in the Gorillaz. And there's a Blur song on the first Max Mix disc that has him singing on it. And it's super weird because I was like, wait a second, I didn't know that was who was singing on that track, and it's the same guy.
That's cool.
Crazy. The top artist that I'm listening to right now, it sounds so freaking egotistical, but the artist's name is Max Rad. And
I know about Max Rad. Yeah, Abby really likes Max Rad.
Oh, wait, she does?
Yeah, we played some on the show.
Dude, we gotta wasn't her first listen to it?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, his stuff is so cool.
It is, yeah. I think we played Oh My Brother.
Yes, that's like my favorite right now. It's
really chill.
The lyrics are so good. They're varied enough where it's not monotonous, but then it's also the tone is like this late night, nostalgic. It's so good. It's so good. That's what I'm listening to right now. Like, he just released an EP, I think, with multiple songs on it. Unfortunately, there was only like 2 songs on there that I haven't already downloaded because it was like a collection of stuff that he's done recently. But I think it said part 1, so I'm waiting for part 2 to see what he does with that. But I think right now that's like the new artist that I found. That's like my favorite new artist.
I thought I found something, but I didn't. I was bomb jumping there. I am getting stuck, I would say.
So what does one do when one gets stuck on a randomizer like this?
Okay, so I have an idea, and I didn't fully go through with it last time because it didn't have the ice beam, I don't think. But now I'm gonna search through a little more, just because, like, since we're talking, it makes it a little more interesting.
Yeah, better safe than sorry.
And so I might as well, because there isn't too much for me to check. But I think I want to try going to Ridley's hideout, which is the hardest area in the game. But
okay.
But I think I can get in there. Okay. So if I do, that'll be great, because it's not all underwater.
That is good. That is very good.
But it's hot in there, which is the thing, because the gravity suit will let you go into certain areas that you normally can't. And so I'll probably die, but you know what? We're going to try. So
I actually really like the variation in the aesthetics between the different areas.
It's very cool. Yeah.
The environments are really cool. Like, obviously it's a lot of reused tiles.
Yeah.
But I still like the variation in color. Like, it's it really lends itself to being more visually appealing. Since they didn't stick with like a continuous style or theme the entire game.
Well, just you wait until we get down there. It's super cool.
What were this? Glitch monsters on top of that guy?
I think they're like bugs.
Oh.
Yeah, because that's like a dead soldier right there.
Oh, bummer.
Normally we fought a boss in there. Kraid, the big boy.
Le big boy.
Kraid, the big boy. Trademark.
That's like no in Dark Souls where they have their name and then underneath they have like little white text.
Well, Zelda does that too. Actually, I love it.
Oh really?
Yeah, like you'll fight a boss. Well, not all games, but a lot of them. You'll have the boss, and then it'll say it's like subtitle. Let me think.
One game I definitely am planning on playing someday in the future, is. Oh, now I'm forgetting the name all of a sudden. It's shoot. It's
Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy.
Exactly, my favorite game. No, it's the one with the bugs.
The one with the bugs.
Yes.
Worms?
No, it's the Switch. It's on the Switch. Very popular. A couple months back.
I'm blanking.
It's a bug theme.
Animal
it's
Crossing.
Like Metroid, actually, where you have to get certain upgrades for your character. Oh shoot!
It's sounding familiar.
It's got the Hollow Knight.
Oh yeah, I've been meaning to get that because it's apparently a really good indie game.
Yeah, I have not played it, but it's one of those rare games that I've only heard good things about.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which I actually, now that I think about it, actually takes a lot of aspects from this game.
I mean, if it's a Metroidvania, then it makes sense.
I think it is.
Yeah.
The way I've heard, it's like a weird, not Dark Soulsy in the sense that it's rage-inducingly hard.
Yeah, but it's challenging.
Right, it's
unforgiving.
Challenging. There are major boss fights.
Mm-hmm.
There's lore, like lots of lore in game that is like optional, I suppose.
Okay.
But yeah, I really like the style of that game. From what little I've seen of it. It's one of those games where it just seems like a labor of love to make it. So I wouldn't mind.
And that's honestly one of the best parts about indie games. Like, definitely, without a doubt. It's just
like Cuphead or stuff like that.
Yeah, like the amount of like the developers' love goes into the game, and it's also like they also do things that normal developer like AAA will never do.
Did you watch the video that I put in the video thing on Discord about the difference between indie developers?
Yes,
and,
I saw
AAA?
I love that.
I watched that and I started laughing because I was like, "Wow, this is."
It's so true.
It's a little close to home there.
Yeah,
it's a little too true.
That's funny. That's a good one. Oh man.
I love how casually you're flipping and jumping through these lava-filled rooms filled.
Well,
with
no, this
creatures.
is nothing. Like you go here like so early before you have any of this stuff. It's funny though, cause like, so terminal montage. Did you watch the World of Light one?
No, wait. What's the World of Light?
The Smash Brothers.
Like the game?
Smash Brothers Ultimate.
I don't think I did.
Okay, so basically, it's hilarious. So there's like, you go around fighting all these like spirits or whatever, and there's one fight where you basically fight Pauline as a spirit, even though it's not Pauline, but because she's not in the game, but you know what I mean. And like, I just watch it. It's so funny. I can't even describe, but it's just hilarious.
And Pauline
because there's
Earthbound, right?
No, that's Paula. Pauline as in like from Mario. The original like the character you rescue. The character you rescue in Donkey Kong.
The one who sings in
Yeah, and so basically they go up to fight her, and it's like one of the hardest battles in the game because it's just like BS. And so like you go up, they're like walking through this city, and then they walk up to her, and it just like the bass boosted like jump up superstar starts playing, and they're all just like and they're just like everyone's flipping out. It's amazing because like there's like
awesome.
There's like a undergoing like joke. I mean, like obviously because like with like Mario and like all the princesses he's going after, or that he rescues, that there's like joke or whatever. And so it's just hilarious. Because everyone's like, Pauline wants her alimony money or whatever. It's so good. It's hilarious. Also, I don't know how I did that there, but okay.
Wow. You just punched the souls out of those creatures. You
I
just
did.
threw your body into them and you removed their souls.
Yes.
Wow.
You can shine spark in multiple directions. And so that's what I did there. Man, I feel like there's something I missed. It's here, because I know in my first playthrough I missed stuff here. And this game does give you like a percentage of what you've collected at the end, because there are multiple endings to this game. They're not really different in any way, but you get to basically like you get ranked based on how fast you did it and what your item percentage was.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So basically, like, the better you do, the more of Samus you get to see at the end. So like at the end, she takes all of her. You get
Zero suit.
Yeah, so you get to see her in a Zero suit. I think she'll take her helmet off for like a certain amount of time, whatever. You get the idea.
Yeah, you get more of you get to see your protagonist, which is like an interesting and odd reward.
Yeah, and that's what was actually so cool about the first game, is that like, because of course the female protagonist wasn't as common, and so
no way.
In the first game, they referred to Samus as like a him in the manual.
Really?
Yeah, and in the Japanese version, they have like non-gender specific pronouns that they used, and so like they basically kept it a secret. And if you did well, you got to see that she's a girl.
Huh.
Which is really cool. I like that a lot.
It's like some sneaky subterfuge.
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
system at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would have been. They didn't want that to be like a gimmick, I suppose.
Yeah.
Where it's like, we don't want that to be their entire character. We want you to judge this character by merit of their character and their actions, and then you find out, oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's a clever way of doing it.
So now we're going to go and see if we can do this. I don't think we can, because it's ridiculous, but you know what?
I have faith in you, Avery.
We'll do what we can.
You can do
it. Oh boy. So we're trying to get over here.
I don't know. Every time I'm around in whatever game or thing involving anything you try to do that would be normal when I'm around,
need to get
either
in here.
It goes shockingly well or shockingly bad. I bring both bad and good luck simultaneously, so
yes.
We'll see.
Well, since I have the ice beam, this might be possible because I didn't have it before.
I'll take might be possible over impossible. That's good. Ooh,
those spikes knock me back though.
You might have to freeze that guy. How far out of the rock did those guys go?
Not much. This is about as far as they go.
Oh, bummer.
And I don't think I can space jump in here. Like, because with the space jump, you can jump infinitely. And underwater, I don't think it works. So we're still stuck here. Unless there's something else in Norfair that I missed. That's still a possibility. So I'm still going to look around a little bit more.
Okay.
Norfair is tough. Speaking of which... No? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like there's something in Zelda that I'm missing, because it's a lot easier for me to, like I said, it's easier for me to forget stuff there than here. So who knows?
It's not as fresh on the mind.
Yeah, and I think I've been pretty thorough. And with Zelda, there are a lot of, like, little checks with stuff, like, if you do this, then you can get this item, or whatever. So, like, that's mainly what's getting me. But either way, if I can make it here or into Meridia, then there are tons of items that I can get. And, like, those are mainly the two areas that are holding me back right now. Because, like, they won't show you hidden rooms on the map at all in this game. So, like, you have to know... You have to find the secrets, and they give you items to do it, so it's, like, not that bad, but still, it's, like, seriously.
I mean, that was one thing about, like, the second and third Luigi's Mansion games that I wasn't as much of a fan of, is all the secrets where I felt like every room I had to, like, scan everything with the light finder, like, everything.
Yeah.
And it would, like, in some respects, it does detract from, like, having an easier, more fun, laid-back play through the game, because you're not, like, trying to find everything and like scan everything instead of just enjoying the room.
This item that I'm using right here is the X-ray scope, so it basically shows hidden items and walls.
That's what I figured.
And so like, it's nice that they give it to you, but there are still things even with this item that you'll miss if you aren't thorough enough, which I think is fine. It's just like now once you get it, it's like, oh, I need to scan everything now.
Yeah.
I really doubt there's anything here, but we'll just have to see. Maybe this room. Yeah, like everything's a joke just because of my like having the screw attack. It just stinks that like if I get in any liquid, it's not gonna help at all.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing about Lower Norfair, which I still have yet to get to, is there's acid everywhere. Let's see. Actually.
Wow.
Wait.
Sheesh.
Oh, I messed it up. I might have missed something.
That would be good in this case. Which is odd to say.
Oh, just missiles. Okay.
Never mind.
Yikes.
There's a little hidey hole over there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just taking me back. Well, I mean, I have more missiles now. Yay.
Yay, missiles.
Something I have infinite of, basically, effectively as much as I want.
My favorite.
You're so kind.
I eat missiles for breakfast.
I think when I got here, I already had the space jump at least, so I could, like, this is all a joke, because normally you use the grappling beam to sort of like hook your way through, but I don't need to, so I want to think the item's optional, maybe? Like, I mean, in normal progression, if you didn't know how to wall jump and stuff, it probably wouldn't be, but
in the words of some wise guy or another, if it ain't broke, don't break it.
Yeah, exactly. Why would people break things? Don't do it.
Never.
You silly geese.
Why
but why? Why would you do that?
Do any of that?
If you're doing drugs, stop it.
Stop.
Get some help. I feel like I reference that in every video I make.
Well, I mean, there are just some references that.
This is one of our food editors.
That finds its way into everything.
Yep.
Oh, look, a xenomorph head.
Yeah, that was Crocomire.
That was
past tense.
The artists, formerly known as. Man. I know it's supposed to be like heat or whatever emanating from the floor that's making all the background textures, but it just looks like a crowded like stadium. With really
a little bit, yeah.
Spectators like cheering.
Yeah. That's funny. I love at the end of the animation they're like, "Congratulations, Sam."
Wait, what?
The terminal montage, the Super Metroid, they're like, Congratulations, Sam. And she's just like, yeah.
Look at these evil seahorses. What's up with that?
I don't know. They do what they want.
They're seahorses.
These one-way doors are the worst. There's actually a way to get through them. Like, normally, if you don't need a missile for them, you can just shoot through them because you have the wave beam, which goes through walls. But if it's a missile one, you have to... There is a way to actually glitch the missile through, but I don't know how to do it, so...
I was just thinking about Henry Stickmin. How there, like, literally, there's so many game references, and when I was younger, like, some of them completely went over my head. Like,
oh, yeah, for sure.
The Metroid, or how if you grab the crowbar, the head crabs fall down. Like, I didn't know what any of that meant. I was like, what is this joke supposed to mean?
Yeah.
What are they going for here?
Yeah, I'm really...
Simpler time of games.
Definitely.
Simpler times.
Before you need a DLC to experience the full game. Yikes.
And $60 for a game that isn't finished.
hate the mobile game, like... the whole mobile gaming landscape I hate so much because it's just so like money grabby, you know?
Half-hearted.
It could be good, but like they could have had what the Switch had years ago. But
Yeah, yeah, it's. I suppose it's just not cost effective. Is basically what I've
nah.
heard. Is like the amount of effort you put into this
And there's
potentially
also the fact
crappy
that like
game that.
playing games on a phone just isn't as pleasant.
Yeah, I think especially yeah,
Small
and like you
screen or
said, now
bad
with the Switch is
controls.
like the portability of a phone,
And
basically.
like what's so cool about that is that there's new value to any game on it because it's now mobile. Like
Yeah,
it's really
it's
that
now
simple,
portable.
which I
Yeah,
love.
yeah, and it's compared to your phone when it comes to running games, it's a
Yeah.
powerhouse. So
Mm-hmm.
like, what are you more likely to play on? Something a little bit more cumbersome, maybe to lug around than a phone, but you can actually play real games on instead of
Mm-hmm.
Flappy Bird knockoffs. Like, what are you gonna pick? Like, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some standout games, but after a while, it just got so gimmicky where it's just desperation.
Yeah.
Where instead of like as a company moving on to other things, you put all of your chips into the app game like landscape. Like, what a bad idea. Like,
Mm-hmm.
who was sitting around saying, "Oh yeah, this will be around for eternity.
They're like, hey, let's make an app.
Let's make a company that only makes apps and for phones, and that's it, nothing else. We get one successful game 5 years ago, and we're gonna ride that into the ground by making sequels that no one cares about."
Mm-hmm.
After the game has thoroughly lost its audience, like entirely.
Yep.
Like
Tis how it be.
the only game that I could tolerate, like the Plants vs Zombies 2 game was an excellent game
I enjoyed that.
for all of its flaws,
Except
which there
for
are
like
many.
the whole
The
like
pay to
buying
play stuff,
yeah,
I
buying
don't like
plants.
that.
But like I played through basically all the game until they
Yeah.
stopped making worlds.
Yeah,
And I'm glad they finally went back to the modern day because I'm like I want to see this with all the new like graphics and plants
Yeah.
because like there's so much you can do in that game because there are so many plants and I loved it.
Oh yeah.
Like
Definitely.
I love the walnuts and I love how there were like 12 different walnuts I could pick from.
Yeah, the primal ones.
The
probably
primal
my favorite.
ones, the infinite,
Oh,
the
yeah, that
peanut
one's good.
was fun.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah, that game was fine, and then oh gosh, now I'm forgetting what it's called. There's a series of tower defense games.
Balloons Tower Defense.
Kingdom Rush.
Oh yeah, Kingdom Rush. I played that too.
All 3 of those games were phenomenal.
I think I played the first and the second one. Not the Heroes one.
The third one was excellent.
Okay.
I can vouch for the third one. It's a prequel.
Oh
everything.
yeah. Like honestly, when it comes to stuff on my phone, if I've got solitaire, I'm fine.
That's perfectly fine.
Because like if I need to
actually
waste a
thinking
few minutes, that's all I need.
I was actually thinking about our family's old computer.
With all the Microsoft games.
Well, like cleaning out the garage, I found some stuff that used to be on my dad's desk down in our basement where the family PC was.
Oh, okay.
Like a little figurine of Yosemite Sam from Looney Tunes that he's now placed in a place of honor on his temporary desk in our living room.
Nice.
But like I was just thinking about lots of those old games that I grew up with on PC, whether it was educational software, Reader Rabbit, stuff like that.
Yeah, Reader Rabbit, I remember.
I had a Beast Wars game. Do you know what Beast Wars is?
I think I've heard the name, but I don't.
So Beast Wars was a franchise. It's a Transformers franchise, but it is involving time travel, where the Transformers left their planet, and the Decepticons left their planet. Everyone's leaving at the same time, and they land on Earth in the distant past. Like think Fertile River Valley, like that long ago.
Okay.
Like just as civilizations were starting to become a thing. And since there's no vehicles, once they land on the planet, they scan for animals.
Oh yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about.
All of the Transformer designs are animal based.
Oh, here we go. Getting stuck in the flowers.
And it's actually, there was an animated, like a poorly CG'd series that is actually still really fun to watch because the story is really cool and the voice acting's phenomenal.
Nice.
But yeah, I had an old Beast Wars game disc And I distinctly remember my sister Alyssa. She controlled the jump and the transform buttons, which were on the far left side of the keyboard,
Mm-hmm.
and I did the directionals and the shooting.
Nice.
And yeah, we many arguments happened when she would just like spam the transform button.
Yeah. That's fine.
Because that a lot of those games, that game in specific was very eerie because it had like the atmospheric lighting where the farther away from stuff, it like turns foggy.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't see anything.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the environments are this otherworldly, even though it's supposed to take place on Earth, it all looks very alien because the texturing and the colors are very odd.
Okay.
And there are these weird monsters that look like barnacles, like in the sides of walls, like shooting at you. And lots of the level designs are very confusing. There are moving platforms, but the landscape is just so hauntingly odd and like barren.
Oh, wow.
You're like the only character going through an area. I don't think I ever completed any one of those levels ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about that because recently my brother was trying to run an old game on we have like an external disk drive because, you know, computers don't have disk drives anymore.
Yeah.
So he was trying to play like an older game and it doesn't work because I was like, even if the disk drive works, your computer is so far removed from that sort of technology, it will not run ROM games anymore.
Here, hold that thought. I'm actually gonna take a quick break and then I'll be right back. So.
All right.
You can keep talking to the void if you want.
Myself.
How was that for quick? Were you timing me, right?
What? No. I don't. What are you talking about? I wasn't talking about anything.
When you were younger?
I was
younger, I was scared of balloons.
No, I was gonna talk about how it used to be a problem where I would accidentally fall upon an impression, not even that I was necessarily good at, but an impersonation that I enjoyed doing and would just do for hours.
Nice.
And it would bug a lot of the people around me, and so I had to train myself out of that. But I used to be able to do like a dead-on Captain Jack.
Ooh.
With the hand and walking movements and everything. But it was all timing. That was my problem, is I didn't know when to stop.
Yeah.
I would just get a kick out of it. It would be funny for like the first 3 minutes. If I was doing like a golem. But
I remember that.
After a little while, it just, people don't find it funny anymore. And so I had to learn the fine line of when to pump the brakes on the impressions, because sometimes people just don't find them funny. I don't know when I developed this pseudo-Russian accent, but I could do that for days, and it would never get old for me, because it is just fun to do. It just sounds so good and so funny. I could do it all the time, but like eventually people don't appreciate that.
Yeah.
And it's just not funny anymore.
It's interesting because like that reminds me of like, because like you do that at like She and everything, and like I just love the irony of how like when you're homeschooled, gym class is like the best class ever. It is not. It is not that way in public school at all. At least not from my experience. It's like, I mean, it was fine. It's just more so that the people were terrible. At least
something simple like that, huh?
Well, so like, I mean, middle school, so that was like one thing. But then like, because everyone's just, middle schoolers are the meanest people in the world, like fact. And so there's that. They have the
least amount of filter.
Yes.
In high school, there's a lot of meanness that goes on, but a lot of it is behind the scenes and just mentally.
Yeah.
But middle school, yeah, I think that
they're just like they just hate everything, and they have a vendetta against you for no reason. So, like,
hating stuff is cool. So I'm gonna
yeah,
hate
exactly.
stuff.
And so like, I mean, it was fun because we did a bunch of different sports that I liked. Like I mean, except for football,
we did unconventional games.
We even did like badminton in my school in cool, which
really?
I enjoyed. But like, it was just like the people. It just wasn't fun. But then like at She and everything, and it's just like all the fun games we'd play, and like all your friends are around, and you get all sweaty also, before like, everything else that you did in that day.
that was the first time. That's where I met
everyone.
Yeah, because that was the first. That was always like the first class. So,
yeah.
Like,
at least for our our grade.
Right. So when my first year of She, I showed up and I walked into that auditorium and I had no idea what I was in for.
Well, it was funny because I remember like seeing you with Jonah, and I was like, "Do you know each other?" And then that just started the whole thing.
Barely, just barely.
Yeah.
Barely know him.
It was amazing.
I can't. I think I was talking with Jacob Tinnell about this, about how his first impression of me was not a good one, and I just laugh about that. Like, that doesn't bother me.
Oh man.
I got that rep like immediately just because. So my dad's a very social person.
Yeah.
And I was actually talking with some of my siblings about this yesterday, where an aspect of my personality that I think I've picked up on is when I'm in a social setting, if there's a couple type A's who are like facilitating discussion, if they're being like the center of attention, not because they're hogging it, but because no one else is stepping up to do that, then I'm content usually to just sit back and let them do their thing. But if I'm in a group where it's unguided and like no one's taking charge, or like by virtue of that alone, oftentimes that just happens.
Yeah.
The when I took the Myers-Briggs test,
I forget what I got.
Within 1% of being introverted or extroverted, so my results literally came back as double, where it's like you're either an E something 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 or an I something something something. So
I've never gotten that before.
Helps. Great.
That's funny.
So like, the best way I can describe it is I would say I am an extrovert with introverted tendencies. Because like, I love hanging out with people. I love talking with people, especially about something they're passionate about or something I'm passionate about. That's fine.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I value to the exact same degree, like going off by myself and reading a book or just chilling or
That's called ambiversion.
Yeah, it's just like I'm perfectly fine with just like that's why I say I'm an extrovert with introverted tendencies, in the fact that I don't hold either one in a higher regard. They're equal in my minds, where I can do either. Wow, this is a cool cutscene.
Yeah, it is really cool. The statues always do really fun stuff. I'm just gonna like check everything in the wrecked ship because, like, might as well. There's probably something I missed here. I don't know.
So this is something I don't think I've ever asked you, and you can ask me the same question. But when I first showed up, because I think I'd met you one time prior at the Lego Block Market. Trading. I think I had met you once before, maybe, or no.
Well, I don't remember you at all before She.
That's possible. I mean, I was at the park when Bailey was filming.
I was gonna say, unless I saw you but never talked to you.
Yeah,
that's probably what it was, because because we were both around for that. For that amazing.
I was only there for 1 week.
Oh, okay, but like either way, we were both involved in that amazing piece of film history.
Film.
Ooh.
Saying film like it tastes bad on my tongue when I say it.
Yikes.
No, but I am curious, and I won't be offended at all. I am curious though, and you can ask me the same question about, because I came into co-op knowing Jonah, obviously, who was basically.
I mean, just a little bit though.
Yeah, just a little. Barely know the guy. He was like my bridge to literally every other.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
Because the Badens had been there for so long, and they
Mhm.
had all these relationships with all these families, and I had zero.
Yeah.
I went in there.
And that was, I must have been 13? No. I remember when I was turning 13 and you were telling me about how that was a great year or something. So I must have been 12 when we first met.
That sounds right. But regardless,
Either way.
what I am curious, and again, you can ask me the same question, but what was your
First impression?
Because when I am in an unfamiliar setting, I don't clam up.
Yeah.
I usually am very talkative, just as a stress release mechanism.
I don't think you were as talkative just since you were like new and didn't know everyone yet.
But like, wasn't the first class?
But I was definitely like, you're
like the whole lefty thing. Didn't that happen in the first class though?
I don't think so.
I seem to remember it being like softball, and you were the only person.
Well, I mean that's where it was.
Left.
But I thought that was also like, given context that like we had already like shot the videos first though.
I don't think so. It was the other way around.
I don't fully remember, but either way, I was like,
because that's how you got your title in our videos. Was because of gym class.
I think for you, like my first impression of you was just that like, you were definitely very talkative, more so than Jonah. But I don't know.
I feel like a lot of people pegged me as super obnoxious ringleader. And I still somewhat have that when I help out at the co-op, no lie. Like, it's funny. Still there, kind of. Which is so weird, because, like, our group never did anything bad.
No, we didn't.
Like, we tried our best.
We saved all of our crazy antics for the videos.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And it's like, when there was a problem and we were aware of it, we'd, like, try to solve it immediately. But, like, it's so weird to think that
Which is funny, because we were, like, the only group that did that. Sort of.
Yeah.
We didn't really cause any issues. You could say that much.
Yeah. I surmised oh gosh, I'm trying to think back to that first gym class, because like,
well,
Jared was there.
We wouldn't have started with softball though. Right?
I don't know. Honestly, it's so weird trying to think back on it.
Well, like, because I'm trying to think of all the games we played, because we did like the shields and like pillars one.
It's never the same order. Every year it's different.
Yeah, I know, but still, like, I'm just trying to think of all the ones we would have played.
I could almost swear that the whole lefty thing was the first class.
It could have been.
Until that point, you didn't know who the heck I was.
No.
But I was making some sort of a comment about how you were a lefty.
Mm-hmm.
I seem to remember that being the first.
Well, because I remember you being like, "Watch out, he's a lefty."
He's a lefty.
That is one thing that I remember.
Yeah.
and then also like accidentally throwing a ball like right at your sister's face on accident. I felt so bad.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, ah.
Yeah.
Because that well in dodgeball. Oh, Spoonish.
Yeah. Were you making faces at Emma during Spanish class? Was one of the best things ever.
I do that with everybody. I still do it all the time.
And of course, Alden's like mouth sound effects.
He's like, blah, blah, blah.
I can't describe it. He would like.
And we would doodle those like infinity symbols all over every single paper we got.
Oh yeah, with the stick figures and everything.
Yeah, and the letter E for some reason.
I don't remember that.
I just distinctly remember drawing the letter E, and it for some reason was like scary. I don't know why.
What? I have no memory of that.
E.
E.
I'm so lost. Wait. Oh wait, is this? This is new.
Secrets?
This is new. If this is the gravity suit, I'm gonna be very excited.
Please be something good.
I don't know.
Something that would help move this forward in a positive direction. Anything.
All right.
There's a lot of options.
There are, but it is the.
Let's move this.
So many options.
I need to post that in the Discord.
Please don't. It'll scare everyone away. All 12 people.
I'm gonna go into. Hold on, I'm gonna do it now. I
Oh.
need to go into images or GIFs, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to hold on. Oh gosh, how do I do this?
It's a piece of heart.
Here we go.
Yikes.
Oh,
piece
of heart.
heart.
Seriously?
I find something that I forgot. I mean, at least I found this in it. Like, at least it wasn't something crucial. I don't know.
That could. To make it,
I'm saying at least it isn't something that like is crucial that could have helped me a lot earlier. You know, but like still, it's
yeah.
I'm there. That's why you got to check every nook and cranny of this place. I feel like there's something else too. Like maybe further up.
I just posted it to the image board on our Discord.
Next to Butch.
In images?
Oh, wait, maybe not.
Is currently the latest thing.
Oh, yes, you got whacked by a bass or something.
A wet trout.
Yes, a wet trout.
Again, I'm
top tier melee weapon.
sure that that company would not ever find out if I put this design on a t-shirt.
Probably not.
Ever. But just the weird four-fingered
terrifying
model, Fate like trying to do a thumbs up, but that's not what it looks like the character's doing at all.
Yeah.
It looks like they're flying an invisible ship. It's just it's so bad. It's so funny.
It's just solid Uncanny Valley right there.
It's amazing.
It's exactly what it is. It's pure art.
You know that it's the same model as the twins. It's the exact same model.
Yeah.
Just like with purple hair.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, those games are so horrendous.
Do you want to tell more about that? Tell their story.
Oh man.
What is there not to tell?
Oh man. So way back when.
Old CD-ROMs.
This is again going back to.
Back when us kids would put CDs in our computers to play games.
Back when educational games were entertainment. That's the era you need to think about. Is when you're young enough and it struck at just the right time where the average kid, the only games for your PC happened to be educational in nature. We had oh gosh, now I gotta find it now. I gotta find their website. It's still super old. I want to get the name right. I think it's Ohio Distinctive Software. I think, yeah, it's Ohio Distinctive Software, or ODS. And they made these educational CD-ROM games. And it just, like, their animation style that they used, I don't know who did their modeling, but everyone, like you said, it just rides that uncanny valley where it's like, I know this is supposed to be a human character, but they have 4 fingers, they have no eyebrows, like everything's wrong. Everything looks wrong, and it's like full-on Baldi's Basics, where it's just...
I love that.
It's supposed to be educational, but everything is through the lens of... It just looks off.
Yeah.
And, like, at the time, I always marvel at the fact that at the time, it was normal. I didn't find it creepy at the time. But now that I look back on those games, I think that they're some of the most horrifying things on the internet because of what they're supposed to be in these innocent children's games. What the models and the artwork is so frightening and so odd. And I'm honestly waiting for... I'm tempted to make some sort of a horror game based off of that.
I mean, it works. That's probably why. I mean, FNAF does that, sort of.
That's actually something that I've been noticing recently, is that there hasn't been, like, a big indie horror game that's really taken FNAF's spot, really?
No.
I can't think of one that has, like, made waves the way that game did. And I could be completely wrong about that. Maybe there have been. But
it's not as common, I think. Horror games in general.
More popular in like 2013 through 2016. Like it was just game after game after game.
Well, because you had like Slenderman and then all the creepypasta era and all that.
Right. Obviously, you have Slenderman. That's probably 2010, maybe
12, I think.
But then you know, FNAF came along. I think. Oh man, I'm trying to think. It was, oh man, there was Five Nights at Freddy's. Uh,
It was earlier.
there was Tattletale was popular for like a month.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's like Don't Wake Granny or something about a granny in the basement. It was
I
like
have no idea.
A poorly animated thing. And then there's Baldi's Basics, which that was popular for a hot second.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, Beyond Petscop, which isn't an actual game.
No.
And that ended, right? So it's like...
I think. Maybe.
I can't think of any other big indie horror games that have really
Taken
captivated
off.
everyone into thinking about theories and mysteries.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't recall any.
Well,
Which
I mean, World of Horror, but that's not really a horror game.
Right. It's like, I feel like for a while we had a slew of them where, and it's not like they were copies of each other. They were all very different. But I think we got spoiled in the fact that it was like, as soon as one's popularity started to fade out, there was immediately one to take its place.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I don't play horror games, I find them interesting, like based on the concept alone. Like if the concept is there and if there's theories about the game, I find it fascinating because then everyone makes videos about it and everyone's talking about theories. And I like watching that sort of stuff. And for a while, I think there was just like a nonstop stream of them. But then, I don't know, all of a sudden it just sort of stopped. And I don't know. I'm waiting for the next one to happen because there's been a lot of good games.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Games that have come out since then, but not necessarily like big indie horror that have really taken the world by storm.
Yeah.
The way that some of those games did, especially in like the theorist community, people on Reddit who like do deep dives into code and stuff. I feel like I feel like it's high time for another game to take that coveted spot of like the internet's most talked about indie horror game.
For sure.
Because I'm waiting for it to happen.
Well, I mean, with FNAF having like 70 games, 30 book series, and 20 movies, you never know. It's just not gonna. I mean, if you could like, those games are not top-notch quality, so like you can make a lot of them, and that's what he did. And so like,
well, yeah,
why would he stop making them?
Well, I mean, yeah, he's leaning into a very specific style. I loved Sister Location.
I really liked. I mean, the first one and the second one, and to an extent, like the third one, I liked. I think those are the three that I played, and I've seen some gameplay of the others, but like I just love the.
I think
the way how simple it was, even though like there was still secrets to find, and and like just how concise, and it wasn't too messy of a story. Like, it makes sense.
I think it hit at just the right time.
I didn't do this. Okay.
I think it hit at just the right time because this guy's scary.
That's easy. You're supposed to fight this boss. This is like the first boss you fight.
Because
and
I mean, like,
I guess
after so many like AAA titles, I feel like culturally in the gaming community, people were longing for simpler games.
Yeah.
Like they were longing for something that broke the mold as far as style, like a game that wasn't trying to be ultra realistic and be just oversaturated with the experience. And it's like, that's all fine and good. That has its place. But FNAF, I think, is special because instead of going, like, say, pixelated, the way that a lot of games went, they went for a later era, late 90s, early 2000s computer game style.
And what I think was... and what I think I liked a lot about that, and also, like, just the game and this, and, like, what the idea in general is that, like, as a kid, I went to Chuck E. Cheese a ton.
Right.
And thought that Chuck E. Cheese was creepy. So, like, it makes sense.
I think maybe I've been to Chuck E. Cheese once.
I would always go, like, almost every time I went to my grandparents before they moved. Or my grandma, on my dad's side, I should say. The one you haven't met.
Falls is so funny. When they go to the knockoff of... It's kind of like a weird mixture of Showbiz Pizza and...
Ooh, okay.
Chuck E. Cheese at the same time. It has animatronics in it, and I have to look at the timeline of when that was released.
Ooh, that's true.
There's some very interesting similarities
I mean, not
some of
that
the
that would
animatronics.
mean it's a thing, but like, you know, yeah, that's
The whole concept of having evil animatronics
Mhm.
wasn't a thing really till FNAF. Like, people feared them, but I don't think the concept
no,
of them
it was
being
it wasn't
evil...
as it wasn't as popular or widespread.
Right. And like, I think I loved Sister Location so much because of the point and clickiness of it.
Yeah.
It felt like a CD-ROM game from that era. Because like, Five Nights at Freddy's, the first and second games, the style is similar to that sort of game, but the whole fixed perspective that's not like anything that would have been in an old. But in Sister Location, that's like a direct nod to those old sorts of CD-ROM games where like you put your mouse on the right side of the screen and like
then it scrolls,
pops up and it scrolls.
Yeah.
And I was watching it, I was like, wow, this is
that is pretty nostalgic for me as well.
I wish that he would make more in that style where it's not fixed perspective and where it's like an old point and click almost CD-ROM, because those are fun to watch people play
for sure. Oh, hello, super missiles. That's apparently what my powder turned into.
More missiles.
I forgot you actually had to walk back in there to get it. It made the sound, and I'm like, oh, I got it, but I didn't.
Oh, so you went all the way to Metroid for nothing then, huh?
Well, I mean, I still did a check. So, like, I know that Metroid is, like, everything that I've done that I can do, unless I'm missing some small thing, like, is done. So, there are a few things I can still look around for here, thankfully.
Yeah, I mean,
I think I can get the Bombos medallion.
What is it?
There's a medallion that you can get, but that's in the Dark World. I need to keep that in mind. I think I went in here.
Of course, it's behind a waterfall.
Yep.
Skyrim stole it.
Well, yeah, they did. I was gonna say Zelda did it in the first game and in this
you
game.
thought I was gonna say Skyrim invented it.
No.
Link to the
very false.
Legend of Zelda ripped it off in the past.
Yep.
It's the secret waterfall thing.
Back to the Future. I still have not seen the third one.
I have only seen the first one.
I've seen the first and the second one, and I love the first one a lot. I also enjoy the second one. But I don't know about the third, so who knows?
I don't think I really had any interest in watching the second or third. I don't know why, but it's just like, I felt satisfied by the end of the first one, where I was like, I don't feel like I need.
Mm-hmm.
I was fine with the concept of them rushing off and having other adventures being the end.
Yeah.
At the end of the first movie, like, I would have been fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, whenever something reaches success, you know, they gotta milk it for all it's worth, so they made another one. Even though those movies don't necessarily get a bad rap as far as sequels go.
Yeah,
I
not
just
really.
haven't seen them.
I have not either.
I think part of that is because of how close in time they were created, instead of waiting 20 years before being oh, let's make
you're gonna use Jumanji as an example.
I haven't seen the new one, so I can't judge that one.
They've been popular, actually.
Yeah, I know they've been popular, but
they've been popular.
Yeah. Poplar. They've been popular. They've been Pop Tropica.
Pop Tropica. I played that.
Dude, there were so many islands.
I
started playing that game because of my friend James, literally when there was only like 4 islands.
I remember playing it in the beginning.
Yeah, when literally the map was so small, there was nothing to do.
Yeah.
I also appreciated the island. I don't know if it was Sharktooth Island, but you go there and you go to like or the Time Traveler one, where you go back in time and it's pilgrims and it's all pixelated and it looks like an old game.
That's great.
I thought that was clever.
Yeah. Thankfully, I can still go here.
That'd be a fun game to go back into during quarantine, just to see what's going on.
Yeah. Okay, so there are things I can get this way.
Ooh, things you can get. I like the sound of that.
By throwing a rock in here.
Of course. Totally logical.
Yep. I mean, there's a sign that hints at it, so.
Whoa.
10 arrows. Excellent. I will never use it. Yeah, this sign here is like, don't toss things in the pond, and then you do, and then it's like
immediately disobey.
Yep.
Order. Always ignore the signs, obviously.
Now remember, kids, always
I knew
read
you were gonna do it.
the signs.
You were gonna do
It's
it.
what they've been telling you all along. and then it just like stabs himself. He's like, just kidding.
Just kidding. Have a good day.
I recently watched that somewhere. Well, no, I think we must have done a viewing together last time I was over.
Jonas. Yeah, we watched the
Yeah,
first
that's
one.
it. I'm just like, oh.
Oh, it's so good though.
It is.
It's so good.
It is.
It would have been embarrassing had we tried, but I'm glad we didn't try.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything in this waterfall?
What about
Nope.
this waterfall? What about that waterfall?
Where's this taking me? Okay. Well, I guess I can explore.
Well, guess I'm here now.
Well, I guess if we made it all this way, might as well.
Might as well. Indeed.
Oh man. These bomber things
There
are
are
annoying.
there's so much variation in the enemies in this
There
game.
are, yeah, for sure. It's cool. I mean, a lot of them are just like Dark World versions of what already is there, but
Right.
it's still cool because there's like theming there.
Yeah, I feel like the first game there's already a lot of variation in the enemies already. Like there's main ones that they go back to,
Mhm.
but overall, I mean, there's a fair number of creatures to fight in
Yeah,
those
yeah.
games.
Ooh,
And,
there is something here maybe.
The fact that they expand on that is cool. I'm still developing that. I'm still in my head. I'm working on that game that would incorporate all these nameless monsters that your Links and your Marios just mow through
Yeah,
easily. I'm still working on a game that incorporates them as main characters,
cool. Oh.
like repurposed baddies.
Oh, this is a warp.
Ooh, is that good?
Yes, but this is Meridia and it's all underwater, so this is gonna be tough if I get anywhere.
Well,
Oh
here's
boy.
hoping.
I don't
This
think I
might
can
be-
though.
This may be the thing that you need to reverse the stuck.
I doubt it,
Maybe.
but we'll see. Oh, hello. Because like
Pillbug fellas.
going underwater is the worst in this, as you can probably tell by how slow
How
I'm
slow
going
everything
and,
is.
and how jumping and everything works. It's so funky.
I was telling you that I'm working on like a D&D variant based on the characters that I made.
I think
My
yeah,
orc-
yeah.
My orc class equivalent are like fish people
Okay.
from under the water because of how jacked you'd be if everything you did was underwater at
That's
like
true.
depth. Because it takes like how boxers train in pools, like
Mhm.
punch. So they're like my hulking masses are like these colorful fish people.
Nice.
I thought that would be a fun twist on that.
Mm-hmm.
This is a cool area.
It is
Confusing, but
it's
interesting.
it's a pain, but yes. It's pretty alright, I guess.
It's kind of okay. It's you know, it's whatever.
Let's see, how am I supposed to... Yeah, it needs me to do speed boosting stuff in here. Also, for some reason, I can't bomb jump unless I... Let's see.
Spam it. You gotta spam it.
Spam. I'm not getting any...
Official,
Well,
the
see,
official food,
like...
the official food of Hawaii. You gotta spam it.
Is it really?
I think. It's
Seriously?
the official meat of Hawaii.
That's insane. I would
think,
not
'cause I think
choose that as my official meat.
I thought that they came up with it, like it's native to that country. I could
Oh,
be completely
possibly.
off on that.
I don't know.
But
That would
why
be
else
something...
Would it be your country's?
That'd be something to look up.
I thought it's something that they make. I thought specifically that
Mhm.
that started there. I could be wrong about that.
Man, I know there's an item right here. I don't know what it is, but I know there's something here. I just need to get...
Is that like an intentional dead end? Do you have to go like?
Oh, well, so
do you
like...
have to back? Do you have to backtrack to go up and over that?
Normally, so like, obviously they put these warps in between the two games. Like, that.
Right.
Normally that isn't there.
Right.
Normally when you're here, you have the gravity suit, so everything like gravity is as normal. But since I'm underwater, I can't do anything. So like,
because you can't get like the forward momentum, you need to go up.
Yeah, and like I need to, unless I can like really
trick it out.
Yeah, like I don't think it's happening. And there is an item that actually lets you jump in ball form. It's the spring ball, but I have not found that. And that's one of those items that's like just kind of convenient, but not really required if you know what you're doing. So I guess there's nothing I can do, but it's nice to know that there's a warp here, at least. It's good to have that knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, like, just as an observer, this seems way more complicated than I thought originally.
Yeah, no, this area, and like just the randomizer in general, it's all like, there's a lot to it.
Yeah, and it's just like, as someone who's never played a randomizer, let alone either of these games on their own,
yeah,
it's fascinating to see that play out.
Normally I'd be able to jump a little bit with the bombs, but I don't get any like vertical height from it, so.
Right, and then there's this fella just sitting there.
Yep, just gotta let him roll. Do a barrel roll! No.
Do a barrel roll! Jake, the guy that we filmed Luigi's Mansion playthrough with.
Yeah. I think I used to... Well, go ahead.
We used to play Star Fox for the GameCube version of Star Fox, where they had like weird PvP matches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I remember. I know what you're talking about.
We would just screw around and explore the maps and like get in the tanks and then the ships, and just explore the maps. And there's some really neat maps on that GameCube.
I bet.
Star Fox.
Aren't they like wireframe sort of looking?
I don't think so.
Maybe that's the N64 I'm thinking about.
Some of them are very like neo-futuristic.
Yeah, that's probably
Unreal
that's what I'm thinking
architecture, like laser grid type stuff.
Yeah, that's what it is. I have played that before.
I'd love to see like a Gmod port of some
Ooh,
of those
that
maps,
would be cool.
Some of those maps are really fun.
I bet, yeah. Ow.
You were saying something and then I cut you off.
I think I randomly texted him on accident because, I have like a lot of Jakes in my phone somehow.
Gotcha.
And so like there was one that I think I had recently added a Jake into my phone, and I forgot what the last name was, and so I texted. I was like, hey, if you want to come over, we can play Persona 5 sometime, because like he wanted to try it out. And then I got a response. I'm like, hey, I think you got the wrong Jake. And I'm just like, oh yeah, you're right.
Wrong one.
It's funny. Also,
I'm actually watching through those again right now. I was working on a drawing project the other day, and I opened up that playlist on YouTube and started watching through them.
Nice. Yeah, that was really fun. That was the first time I actually like played through that game. So.
Which again, considering how many Nintendo things that you enjoy, I was shocked that you had.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's interesting because I've always known about it, but I've never actually I just never played it. So it's cool, and like I get why it's so like loved by the fan base and everything, but like with the twins, when we kept on guessing what box they were in, we had no idea. You could just like vacuum it and it'll show you.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh man, because the Runaway guys are currently Let's Playing it together, and they did that, and I'm just like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's in the dad's library, and we completely forgot by the time we got to that battle that it's in his parenting guide or whatever, in Neville's book.
Yeah.
About the twins. It's like, oh yeah, I think Chauncey actually behaves older than they do. They're scared of fire, of water, ice, and wind, and it's like completely forgot that.
What I'm curious about is that like how the whole family like connects. Because they have to all be related, almost. So like what I'm thinking is like,
except for like the servants, the people who worked at them.
Yeah, so you've got the family. So like that's the mom and the dad, the twins and Chauncey.
Right.
And then you've got their grandma, or the twin.
Nana, and then
you've got Nana, and then Uncle Grimly.
Yeah, Uncle Grimly, or whatever his name is.
You have Mr. Luggs, who I don't know how he would fit in. There are a lot of ghosts that are like they're there. They're maybe family members, but then you've got like Sue P, who's probably a visitor because she's in the guest room.
Yeah,
and like
stuff like that.
Yeah,
or
so
it's visiting family.
It's cool thinking about all that.
How yeah, Mr. Lugs is
You got the
Neville's
family and
brother.
everything. I think one of my favorite ghosts, like not necessarily like fighting him, but like the whole concept is probably Uncle Grimly, just because he's like you only can find him when there's no power at all.
Yeah, and he has the key to the
The
power
basement,
room,
yes.
which means that he probably sabotaged it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the basement and the top floor are probably some of my favorite areas, except for the Clockwork Soldiers. Those are annoying, and I don't like.
Oh my gosh, those guys.
Oh, it's so like I can understand how like it would be hard for someone who's never played the game, especially with how like using your flashlight and sucking up the ghost can be, because like you have to react fast or like have both buttons on at the same time.
Right.
And it, like especially the speedy spirits are so unforgiving.
Oh yeah.
It's like
up,
oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a great game. I love how limited the map is.
Yeah.
It's because of how it was constructed, everything's big enough to where it feels like an entire world that you can grow familiar with and fond of, even though it's really not that big. There's just enough there's enough stuff inside that it feels like it's bigger than it is because it's full of life, it's full of characters, full of danger, and so it doesn't feel as small because there's not whole swaths of emptiness.
Yeah.
There's always stuff there, which I like about that game is how lived in it feels.
For sure. Okay, I'm gonna. I feel like I can get this palace here finished, but I think what I'm gonna do is I want to see if I can do I want to see if I can do the Dark World version, because that is a possibility.
So there's 2 versions of each dungeon.
Basically, there are 3 dungeons in the overworld, and then in the Dark World there are 7.
Gotcha.
And so, yeah, basically, who knows?
You can do it. Progress.
Yeah. I feel like I should have everything unless it's the bow. The bow is always what holds people up in Zelda because you need it for.
Where's the bow?
Where's the bow? Yeah, exactly. I think I made that joke, but like at least in another stream. But basically, like in the first dungeon in the whole game, there's one enemy that needs the bow, and that's the whole thing that's like blocking you off. What else? Certain switches, like stuff like that, and so it's a pain.
Yeah.
So if I could find that, that would be excellent. And I also need the silver arrows to beat the game. I don't have the big key here. Like, I feel like I left here because I got stuck. And I don't know.
Was it a puzzle, or was it just like a difficult area?
It wouldn't be that. I would push through that.
So is it something that you need before you can continue in this area?
I don't know. I mean, that's probably what it is. If I'm checking on the map, there's one room up here I haven't gone in, and I don't know what it is, so.
Ooh, mystery.
I mean, I'll have to remember. Like, I'll probably figure it out once I go in there, but. Yeah, I need the big key for that. Okay.
I love the continued color scheme in this dungeon. I like how it's various shades of green.
Yeah, it is nice. This is
instead of doing like all one shade.
This is Misery Mire. Because it's a swamp.
What a lovely name.
Yeah, alliteration. Yeah, there's nothing I can do in here.
So you need a key to get through there?
Mm-hmm.
And there's not another key in this dungeon that you can get?
Well, it's the big key, so I need to find that in a chest somewhere. So maybe there isn't. Like, maybe I might be able to do something, but I'm like fairly certain there isn't. I can check the Light World temple here, because I think I need... It was either the lamp or the Pegasus boots that I need. And so after I check this, there won't be, like... This won't take long to check, thankfully.
Okay.
I don't know. Oh, I have to hit the button. In the Japanese version of the game, the books are always called the Bible for the most part.
In the Japanese version?
Yeah, in the first version. But due to like Nintendo of America, they don't want any religious references. They had it removed. And so it's just called the something else. I don't think I don't think it's the Bible in the Japanese version for this, but I know in the first game the magic book is the Bible.
Huh.
Yeah, it's
I
interesting.
feel like in the early promotional artwork too, there was like a cross on his shield or something.
Well,
like
it
that.
is in both versions actually, which
That's
is
so odd.
it's cool actually. Like it's a cool little detail, like history.
Well, I mean, it also sets up, I guess, as far as like symbols go, it represents some sort of a warrior with a cause, I suppose. Even though the Crusades were not like.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole thing frustrates me.
Mm-hmm.
Personally. Because, like, I don't know. I won't speak about things I know little of, but no one should have that much power. And the
History.
whole concept of the Crusades is so... The only word I can describe is broken. Because it's like, we're not going there to liberate it and give it to the people who were displaced from it.
Yeah.
It's, we're going there to get it for ourselves, but make it seem like we're liberating it for other people, even though that's totally not. It actually reminds me, there's a movie called The Book of Eli.
I know what you're talking about.
I won't get into spoilers necessarily, but a main plot in the movie is that the villain wants the last known copy of the Bible, not because he is religious, but because he knows the power that has on people, and he's looking to control people with it by saying, you know, any number of things out of context from it to get people to do what he wants. And that's always what I felt like the Crusades were. It's just like, there's nothing about this that seems noble.
Yeah.
There's like, it's all wrong. Like it's like not what the thing that you claim is you're all about is truly, which means that you're a fraud. Because if you actually knew what you were talking about, then you wouldn't be going over there to besiege.
Oh, I can do this.
Ooh, is this good? Is this forward momentum? Progress?
Yes, it is. I don't know if I'll get anything out of it, but we'll see.
Fingers crossed. I like the split level stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. Like how each floor has like floors to it, different layers.
Yeah.
That's actually how you can beat this game in under 5 minutes. I know I've shown Colin how to do it because he's a fan of this game.
Really?
And I sort of did it just to show off because he had trouble with this game when he was younger and he asked me for help. But yeah, no, it's cool. I'll have to show you that sometime. It's a fun party trick.
I think I watched that video.
I probably made a video for it, yeah.
I think you did.
That BMO shot me into the door to unlock it. I don't know if this does anything, but nope. Okay. It's nice to have some access to fire.
In general. Fire.
It is what got society going, after all.
It's
Maybe.
Actually, like in Boy Scouts, that was one of the things.
Oh, are you serious? I need a. Oh wait, maybe I don't. This is that one enemy that you need the bow to kill. So hopefully I don't need to do that. I should not. Awesome. These are Igors. Anyway, Boy Scouts.
How, like, in a survival situation, fires are important not just because of heat and light.
Oh, I need the. I need the key.
Woke up.
I need the big key. Yeah, these things chase
Another
you.
big key?
So there are like little keys, and then there's the big key, which opens up the treasure chest for the dungeon and those doors. So I just can't.
Does this guy have it on him?
Possibly, yeah, probably. Or it's in another. So I need the bow. I need the bow or the Pegasus boots, because there are some keys that are like up on chandeliers that you have to knock down.
Ugh.
And so I just can't do that. And also, if I had the Pegasus boots, I could walk around a lot faster. So that's not something I can do right now, unfortunately. Man, maybe I'm just like not killing all the enemies in a room, because that can mean items. But I keep interrupting you, so you can go ahead. I'm gonna think about what to do next.
I mean, it was also important. It's number one on the list to find because it's also morale, and it's also like an HQ. And it was actually really interesting to hear about all these external reasons.
And it's where s'mores are born.
What?
And it's where s'mores are born.
And Phoenix.
Mhm.
Phoenixes. Yes, exactly.
It's Phoenixopides. Thank you very much.
The chickens.
Yep. The hardest enemies in this game.
Yes.
Do not harass. Oh man, what am I supposed to do? Did I do the thing with the blacksmith? I'm curious. I don't know what that guy's talking about. Yeah, I got everything in the bar. Even though it's not really a bar.
That joke
What?
hurts.
Oh.
Why is Peter Pan always flying?
Mm-hmm. I could do something here if I had Pegasus boots, but I don't. Lincoln needs a new pair of shoes. Maybe I can... Actually, did I do that? I should have. I think I should have. It's funny because I got some of the most useful items like really early on, like a sword that let me fight and all that stuff, and now I'm just getting stuck on something that is like also important, but like, ugh. See, I need powder.
I feel like if I
need
played
powder
one
for
of these,
this.
I'd have to take like furious notes on everything.
Well, I mean, you'd have to
and
play,
everything
but you'd have to
I
play
need.
the base game first of all, because like, you gotta know like when items open up and the natural progression.
I feel like I'd just be really bad about forgetting stuff,
And
whether or not I did it.
I'm having a feeling that that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm forgetting something, and it's
Right.
a little frustrating, but I can work with it.
Adds an extra layer, I suppose, of challenge.
Now I need the Pegasus boots for this, but it's only a piece of heart. Normally that's where the book is, but I have the book. Link doesn't know how to read. Maybe.
Link can't use item book. Requires skill reading.
I love how when Ben plays D&D, his first action is just to seduce everybody. I'm like, okay.
What is his first action?
Just to seduce everyone.
Oh, does he play a bard?
Yeah. Or like a thief character.
It'd be really bad if he wasn't a bard and he tried that. That would not go well.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Bards.
I saw this hilarious meme and it was like when your whole D&D party dies and you're only a bard, and it was like some like woman playing the flute with tears in her eyes because of the music. I'm just like, it's amazing. I love it so much.
That's quality, and also very true.
Where am I getting stuck? Ugh.
Should you do this sequentially?
Well, I mean, I've run through basically everything that I could have done. It's probably something on Death Mountain, because...
yes, my favorite vacation spot.
All your Zeldas go there.
All your Zeldas belong to Death Mountain.
I've never actually played that game, but Zero Wing.
Is that what that's from? I guess that is what that's from.
I love that sort of like broken English in games. It's amazing because like old games like just did not receive localization basically
at all.
They're like, hey, make this English roughly, and if it's good, then it's good.
Yeah, just slap it together in like 3 minutes. Just like run it through Google Translate and hope for the best.
Absolutely.
I was just thinking about back in 2011 when I was on a soccer team, and it was just a blazing hot day. It was exhausting. It was muggy. It was an awful weather day for soccer, and it was co-ed, and this one girl who was on our team's defense, really good kicker. She was a really great defensive player, and this one little kid on the opposite team sprints up to the soccer ball just as she's clearing it.
Oh.
And he was right over top of it. That ball launches into that kid's face.
Ooh.
And everyone immediately takes a knee because we know it's going to be bad and it's going to take a while. And they walk over to him. He's like spitting blood out of his mouth and everything. I don't know if his nose was broken, but like it was bad.
That sucks.
I distinctly remember because number one, our team was called the Grapes of Wrath. Our uniform was like this awful, like purple.
That's amazing.
And like the neon green striping.
Mm-hmm.
And I distinctly remember because as everyone like got up from taking a knee and like walking back to their positions,
Mm-hmm.
there is a kid on the other team who just looks over at me and one of my teammates and just dead serious, I kid you not, stares us in the face and says, "You guys are gonna pay for that."
Oh. Whoa.
I promise you, within 3 minutes, the sky had completely clouded over and it turned into a mud game. It started downpouring.
Wow.
It was the most intense game ever.
Jeez.
We still ended up winning,
Nice.
but it was still that was like the coolest coolest thing. Real quick question.
Yes.
In Westerville.
Mm-hmm. The Ville of the West.
There's a martial arts studio that closed down probably 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life is after it had closed down, how they had barred up the windows and the doors with wooden boards.
Okay.
Because it's funny for a couple reasons. Number one, what is the one thing that you are specifically trained how to break in martial arts?
Yeah, that's true.
And like,
that's
so
what I was
if
thinking.
they're trying to keep their students out, like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Second of all, it's just like a badge of defeat. The fact that in the end, the wooden boards win. That
That's funny.
You out. And oh gosh, it's little things like that. Oh, they're funny. When I was probably like 5 years ago, we were driving somewhere, and we passed this graveyard that had a like a metal fence, like a chain link fence, and it was open outwards. And I just turned slowly to one of my siblings and went, "That can't be good. No one should be leaving from that place."
That's funny. Where am I going? This place is a maze.
Zing.
No.
Just a maze.
Incorrect. Yep. Just a maze.
That's
Ben will like make a joke and I'll just be like, no.
No, why would you say that? Why would you do that?
We're so like mean to each other, but in the most loving way, I guess. I don't know.
Well, it's sarcasm, you know.
Yeah.
You do it with people you care about. If you didn't know a person, you didn't know their personality, you wouldn't be like that. But since you know...
Well, it's funny, because like when we first started lifting together, I'm just like, you're hurting me. And he's just like, I'm hurting myself too, don't worry.
Yeah.
I want the gyms to be open again. I'm missing the weights so much.
That's how you know you've made a friend, is when you can translate through the snarkiness.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you don't have to explain yourself. It's just like, I know this person's joking and it's funny. Just variations in personalities, you know. This is a huge area.
Yeah, and this is only like half of it.
Wow.
I think like there might be more on the other side because I probably didn't explore all of it. However, I'm not on that side right now, so that's going to be annoying. Man, those Pegasus boots, there's a lot that it's stopping me from.
Why is the color palette for Link different in this game?
What do you mean? Oh, well, this is an item I have. It's more defense. Normally he wears the green.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like it's in the first game, there are 2 magic rings. There's the blue ring, which turns you blue and gives you half damage, and then the red ring, which does quarter damage. And so those are both in this game. So eventually I'll look like Mario.
And when Link puts on the blue ring, you know what song he sings? You know what song he sings?
What song does he sing?
Blue dabu dee dabu da.
You know, I'm not so sure about that.
Are you sure about
this game might have taken place a few years earlier.
Just a couple.
Just a couple.
Just
well, you know, after Link rescued Zelda, they created that song together.
Yeah. They went into their studio. And they recorded it.
One of my favorite like Zelda community memes is chain smoking Zelda.
What?
And so like, I don't know who started this, but basically like you have Zelda, and she's just waiting around for Link, and so she's just smoking a ton. So she's like, "Hey Link, pass me my smokes." It's amazing. Okay. That's all I have to say on that.
Be a doll and go get me a pack of cools from the gas station.
Yep, just like that. That's even better than mine. This is the first portal you use to go into the end, or the end. Playing Minecraft. So this is when Link slayed the Ender Dragon.
How wild would that be? You walk through, you activate the portal,
and you just hear the whooshing sound.
The screen goes all warbly.
Yeah, I like warbles.
Those look like stacks of pancakes with butter on top and syrup.
Nice. Is this a fairy? I think it's a fairy. It's a fairy. Give me healing. Well done, Lettuce. Have a cup of tea. She called me Lettuce. Oh my god, that's just like my name in high school. My nickname in high school.
Did you name your character Lettuce? In the game?
Actually, wait, I probably did. It's just been so long since I've been on the title screen. Also,
you thought that NPC calls you like every player who plays this game Lettuce?
Well, I mean, because he wears green normally, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, that's probably... I've never actually explained that on a stream, so like... Or have I explained my Amy Lettuce nickname to you?
Isn't it like mixing letters of your first and last name?
No. So basically, when I was in high school and we had I was on cross country team, and we would have like we would have team dinners before like the Friday night before all the Saturday morning meets, and so we had like a sign up sheet with all of the stuff that people would bring. And so I always sign my name in cursive because that's just how I write it all the time, so I'm used to it.
Oh.
And so I wrote my name down, and then this girl like walks up to the list to put her things down, and she's like, "Who's Amy Lettuce?"
Was she blonde? Answer truthfully.
No, she was a brunette.
Okay.
Maybe?
Well, that doesn't
No, she
wasn't
was
blonde.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You can be brunette and be blonde.
You're right. But no, so like, and then just from then on, the upperclassmen started calling me that, and it just stuck for my entire career of cross country.
You have a knack for picking up nicknames.
I do, and only certain people use certain ones, and they're also like very small groups that use them. But I have a lot of them.
See, my name's so short that I never got a nickname. I have no nicknames.
But people like to make it longer.
Yeah. That's like
what do you think about that? Like, if people call you like Maximus or Maxwell or something?
That doesn't it doesn't bug me. I'll answer to any of them because in any given social situation, there's only one person they can possibly be talking about. So it's like it's
true
as effective as a nickname, but it's not technically a nickname because it doesn't shorten anything.
Yeah.
Which is all the jokes can be made.
It's a Nicholas name. It's just longer.
a Nicholas name. That's a good one. Save that for your comedy routine.
Yeah. My parents think I'm like the funniest person ever, and I don't understand.
Well,
I could be a good comedian, except I would have to really practice everything a lot because that's the only way I can deliver stuff like that well. Also, I love the fact that we've been at this for 2 hours, almost 3, and I've basically not made progress at all.
Well, welcome to me joining your stream.
I don't think that's why. I mean, I certainly hope that's not. Well, we didn't win World of Horror, so maybe I won't win this if you're on the thing, because Butch was slain.
The only reason
unfortunately
why we got close to winning was because Ben was there, so it was an equalizer of luck.
to give us shovel advice.
Yes, which was always the same. Just hit it with a shovel.
Yep, which is almost true in real life.
About him telling you to hit stuff with a shovel?
No, I mean the act of hitting things with a shovel.
Oh, I see, yeah. I mean, it would be, as far as weapons go, as far as tools in
could be
real life,
worse.
A shovel has a lot of uses.
It does. There is a shovel in this game, but I don't have it yet. And I could get a couple items if I had the shovel, but I don't. I think I have a couple potions, so I might as well try to defeat Mothra. I mean, Mothron.
Right. Mothra. Mothra. Let's just call it Mothra.
Also, Godzilla is in this game too. Did you know? His name is Ganon.
Those are the ribs.
Yeah.
Of the monsters that he has decapitated.
Of course.
Dude, the fatality in the 2016 Godzilla. Did you ever watch that?
No.
You said you didn't.
I haven't seen.
It's actually quite enjoyable. Bryan Cranston is in it.
Okay.
As like a scientist.
I know someone named Brian.
I actually really. There's a lot of really cool shots in the movie.
Ah!
There's one where they have to parachute, basically blind,
Mm-hmm.
through a layer of smoke and clouds into a city.
Whoa.
And they all have flares attached to their ankles, and it's like this gorgeous shot.
That does sound cool.
You just see all of these flares. And actually, one of the guys actually bites it on the roof of one of the buildings.
Ooh.
You see like one of the flares just go out.
Nice.
Because they had to jump in blind, and yeah, it's actually, for what it's worth, it's an enjoyable movie, if nothing else.
Okay.
But yeah, the fatality that Godzilla does to one of the bug monster things is brutal.
That's why I'm such a big fan of like bad movies, because if they're like entertaining, I can dismiss it, even if they're terrible. Like I can obviously say like it's a bad film, but like I mean I'm not necessarily gonna watch Birdemic again because that's like 2 hours I'm never going to get back. But I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
And that is a terrible piece of work.
You wear it with a badge of honor.
Mm-hmm. I survived Birdemic.
You're gonna, studying film, you're gonna have to sit through some garbage.
Ooh. Oh boy.
Yeah.
And that's not even including what my classmates make. Burns.
I will hold my tongue.
No.
If you ever have to make anything, just
well,
flash
I'm working
the
on
bat signal up in the air, and I'll come running.
I am sort of working on a short film now.
Dope.
I mean, it's nothing big. Like it's one for class because we basically we all shot it together in our groups, and then we're doing the editing on our own because we're like going through editing right now.
Which you probably
which
are
I
a
own.
couple steps ahead of a lot of people in the class already.
And so like it's basically a project, like a video project, not a short film, but it's still like it's cool. What's annoying is that it's a silent film, and so I need to actually like add sound effects to it.
Fun.
Which is a little more difficult for me. I'm either gonna have to record.
Foley,
I'm gonna have to record Foley, or I'm gonna have to like find stuff that I can just use, which I'd rather not do.
What are you talking about? You don't want to loop the same footsteps?
Well, actually, you know what? I think I can just get into Minecraft and record all my sound effects in there.
That'd be amazing if all
just use like all the Minecraft sound effects. That would actually be I could see that idea being used for a different project, but not this one.
All of the footstep sound effects.
Just like the ooh,
like opening a door.
Oh man. Yeah.
Getting hurt. Yeah, the ooh.
They took that out. Funny. I mean, years ago. This is, but now that you can play as male or female, skinny. Yeah. I mean, skinny arm or big arm. The two genders.
Yeah, skinny arm or big arm. Right.
I love just like listing two things and then saying the two genders.
Yeah.
After. Oh, it's so funny.
I also appreciate the fact that it's supposed to be like a fantasy medieval wasteland, or like a
sort of
where it's been abandoned mostly, except for like small civilizations.
And that's what I think is like interesting. And I think like I know Game Theory's like done videos on it, and I think like from what I've seen, I think he's just like I think he tends to overanalyze and make like connections that don't really make sense sometimes.
I for the most part I agree, because
or his like his quote unquote theories are just let's put science to this now.
Right.
And so that they're not as interesting to me as like some of his older ones where he actually connects things or like shows stuff like that. And he still makes stuff like that every once in a while, but it's not as common, so I just haven't enjoyed them as much. But either way, with Minecraft, oh crap, now I have to go back. Anyway, those wall masters. But the what is it? With Minecraft, like there's obviously like evidence of like people or something being there before you. And what I think is the most interesting part of that is the stronghold, because you have basically this underground, not like facility, but like this underground dungeon full of like jail cells, and
Yep.
oh, I did it again because I Gyptos. Oh well. And so like you basically like what I've thought of the stronghold is basically like they were keeping things there and throwing them into the end as an experiment, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like that's always something that's like I've thought about is like what could this be? Especially because like I didn't even know the stronghold was a thing as a kid until after like years of playing. Because my first few years of playing Minecraft are so like strange. But it's just kind of it's fun to think about stuff like that.
Yeah, I just think it's funny how it's supposed to be this medieval fantasy situation.
I mean, I wouldn't even
and
say
then you have-
medieval, but
well,
sort
I
of,
mean,
roughly.
you know, fantasy is usually setting. The setting is supposed to be with knights and castles and monsters and
Yeah.
whatnot. Is the fact that Steve's running around in like a blue shirt
And
like
jeans.
and like purple pants.
Mm-hmm.
Like it
Yeah,
just
the
makes
purple
no
pants.
sense.
People don't normally
That
wear
always-
purple pants.
That makes me think that Steve is supposed to be a person from our time,
Mm-hmm.
thrown back into
Oh.
a different time. Because everyone else dresses for the period except for Steve.
Yeah, that's true.
The villagers are all wearing stuff that makes sense for their environment. Even Alex
Yeah.
looks like she's wearing an outfit that makes sense for the period.
Mm-hmm.
But Steve, nope, he's rocking the purple pants and the blue shirt.
Maybe they're just like omnipotent or something.
Well, he can carry
He can carry enough gold that is.
enough raw material
Yeah,
that he's like the strongest character ever created in any video game.
basically. If you were to do that math, which I'm sure somebody has.
I think Austin.
Oh
part of
yeah,
Game
from
Theory
the
did a
science
video on that.
I do like his videos because
His videos are funny.
like that's something. Like I understand branding it that way, but then when like there's a game theory that comes out and it's like, okay, here's this, but with science, it's like, okay, that's not really a theory per se.
Well, also
more of
you
an
have
analysis.
to think about a lot of the games I feel like he reviews are games where the creators probably didn't have anything in mind.
Yeah, exactly.
necessarily.
Exactly. Like half that stuff, it's like, oh, this is just how it is, you know?
Right. It's interesting to think about, but unless it's something like FNAF where it's like there's an actual story and the creator can tell you yes or no you're wrong.
Yeah.
You can say anything and you can probably be right. Like who
Mhm.
cares? Like if there's not anything set in stone, like what's the point? All right, I'm going to go quiet so you can focus on killing this bug.
No, you don't need to. I have like 3 potions.
You can do it. You can do it.
I mean, oh, yeah. I just remembered, like, I don't know. I have a much stronger sword. Oh, yeah, it's the map. Woohoo! I have a much stronger sword than I think I should have at this point, so that's nice.
Ah.
Because I have the level 3 sword, there is a level 4 sword, but I don't know where it is, so, obviously.
So what does that map get you exactly?
I mean, it'll let me check to see if there are any more chests, but I think I'm good. I think it'll let me check.
That'd be good.
There is one room I haven't entered yet.
Ooh.
Yeah, honestly, this dungeon isn't, like, too bad. It's just the boss can be annoying. And the wall masters.
Yeah.
And those have always been in the game, even from the first.
Really? I didn't know they were in the first one.
Yep, they're like invisible in the walls, and then when you're touching a wall, they'll like slowly phase in and out of them, and if they grab you, then you get pulled in.
Ah, my least favorite enemies in any game. Invisible and in the walls.
Yep. I am curious what I'm supposed to do, unless I have to enter from further up.
Like where that secret room is?
Yeah, maybe. And like there might not even, I don't even know if there's something in here, but it's worth
That
checking.
is odd. Do you think there's a certain number of wall masters you have to kill before something happens?
No, they're infinite spawning. I mean, if I had the Pegasus boots, I know a way I could probably get in there. Okay.
Or are you thinking there's a way to fall down from a room above?
No, I doubt that.
Gotcha.
And I mean, I have the hook shot, but that's like, it's not gonna help.
Wait, could you? You can't let go midway.
No, you can't.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Now, if this was the Japanese version, you could like really glitch out. Ooh, hello. I did it, and there's nothing in here, so that's wonderful.
Well,
The way pits work is very strange in this game.
Ooh,
So
that's no fun.
yeah, like they sort of like suck you in, but it's easy to abuse it, at least especially in the Japanese version. Like with the hook shot and I think the Pegasus boots, you can basically walk on the pits.
Huh.
It's pretty interesting. But at least we know Skullwoods is done. Because I did get like a random item drop. I think it was just rupees, so that's all that would have been significant anyway.
Right.
I do need all the crystals.
It's good at least to be able to cross a location off your list.
Yeah, exactly. And I still need to get all the crystals to get to the final dungeon anyway. So that's progress. But
Yeah.
where I go next is still sort of up in the air.
Spooky fog.
To be fair, oh hello. I'm just gonna ignore him. It's been a good 3 hours, so now it's probably a good time to stop.
Yeah, I also
But we
don't
can
think
still-
we ever did like an actual intro, which is funny.
Yeah, not really. I mean,
We just
I don't
started.
feel like these really need them that much, but
Yeah, I feel feel
it's
that.
casual. So
It's
actually,
business casual.
will this help me? The fortune teller. Sure.
Looks like a purple version of the blue cultists from Earthbound.
Hmm.
The
Oh yeah,
teardrop
you're
head.
right. You're right. Oh, okay. He does nothing. Normally he gives you hints about the game, but since there's no need for them, he just heals you. Sometimes they add in like helpful, like, oh, this item is in here, sort of stuff, but I guess not. Did I talk to the bug kid? There's a guy who
These are
gives.
the questions in life we have to ask.
Did we talk to the bug kid? This is important.
Did we talk to the bug kid?
Maybe I think I did, but maybe not with the item. Oh, okay. I did already get it. Also Mario. You see that?
Oh yeah.
He's in most
Trapped
of
in another painting.
most of the room. Yep, basically. I love how he gets trapped into the painting after the one where everyone else is in the paintings.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
It's always about the paintings.
Mhm.
It's always about the paintings. Did that beds have a copyright logo next to it?
What?
When he said beds, it looked like there was a copyright logo on it.
Oh no, that's just the
It was
period.
probably- I know it. It
It
looked like
it-
the copyright logo.
that'd be funny. I sure do have a lot of beds. Copyright the whole phrase.
Trademark.
The whole
registered
phrase.
trademark.
Yep.
You have to pay royalties every
You
time you
know,
use the word bed.
We do have Disney to thank for how long copyright lasts. It's the owner's lifetime plus 70 years. Because they're like, hey, we need to defend Mickey. And so they went to court to see if they could extend it or whatever.
Wow.
Mhm. So it's called
Well,
the
they
Mickey
have
Mouse
the-
clause
they
or
have the
whatever.
money to do it.
Yep, certainly. I don't know if that's exactly what they did, but roughly something like that.
Well, I thought I heard recently that Marvel has the rights to the word mutant, and
Really?
DC has the rights to the word superhero.
Huh.
That could be completely false by now. Or
Well, I have rights to the word pancake, so they're
because you
they're
just-
losing.
because you just
They're
because you
missing
just
out.
said it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, exactly. Just like the Fine Brothers have the rights to the word react.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
Where am I
Or,
going?
Candy Crush Saga sued a game called Banner Saga for having Saga in their title.
Did they really?
Yeah, because they wanted exclusive rights to Saga,
Yikes.
because that's such a hot button name.
Mm-hmm. All the kids, they want
That game actually looks really fascinating. You should look into that.
I
Actually,
I know I've seen.
the Banner Saga.
Yeah,
It looks
like
beautiful.
I know of it.
It looks beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Norse mythology set to like old Disney animation, but it's an RPG, like a tile movement game.
I do like RPG. Now that
It
does not
looks-
just mean tile movement game, but
Yeah. Well, yeah. This is a cool looking place.
yeah. I'm actually very curious about something. This might like really screw up the game,
Well, who cares?
but I don't care. So I did not name myself Lettuce. That's Japanese. I don't know
For
why.
lettuce.
Also, the word kill is at the bottom of the screen because I guess.
Actually, that clearly says kill with an E at the end.
Kill. Yes.
That's French for kill.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see if this will work. If so, I might be able to do something funny.
Are you trying to glitch the game?
Yes.
Fantastic.
It should still work. Yeah, like
forward.
I can explore the or not explore. I can explain how this works in a second. I just want to make sure I can do this right.
Hopefully this doesn't corrupt anything.
Yeah, I hope so too. Maybe I should. You know what? Actually, I'm going to quickly make a save state because I've been making save states every time I end the stream just in case the ROM gets corrupted, and I'm okay with this. Yes, this after this is done, we can leave for the day.
Cool, we're digging the horror game that we played last week.
Yeah, no, that's a really fun one.
A lot of people watched that apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad. I can't wait to put that up on YouTube. I'm working on getting everything. It just takes a long time to actually make all that work.
One of these days, we're gonna maybe over quarantine at some point. I'll go over Discord and we can play. I guess that doesn't really work then. I was gonna say more Pokemon Emerald.
We could.
I mean,
do you have Parsec?
I don't know what that is.
It's basically like screen sharing, and you can like let people take control of your cursor and stuff.
Huh. I'd have never heard of that.
It's something we could try. I don't know. I've never actually used it, but I have it downloaded.
You probably already have a couple episodes backlogged anyways, honestly.
All right, let's get this guy his attention. Hello?
And the title of that video can just be called Playing This Game Entirely Incorrectly.
Yes. I still have a couple to... Oh, they took it out. Okay, so I can't do it. Normally I would have phased through that wall, and then I could walk through to... Because, like, basically all the dungeons are stored on one map. And I could have just walked to any of the other dungeons if I wanted.
Oh.
Sort of. It has its limits, but that's roughly what you can do, and it's pretty fun. But no, the... Oh, what was I... What were we talking about?
Playing Pokemon Emerald badly.
Yes. I still have a couple episodes. I think I went to edit one of them and then like it removed it crashed and then like all of my edits were gone, so I just sort of gave up. But yeah, I can still I can still get back to that if I feel like it. Cuz I do enjoy those. Those are really funny.
I'm never giving up on Wingull. Ever.
You mean Poofles? No,
yeah,
that's...
Well, Poofles is his name, yeah.
Poofles is my name. No.
I'm never giving up on Poofles.
What was his name?
Named that episode The Lost Cause is like the funniest thing ever.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm just saying, you're double dipping with the types. It's not the smartest thing to do.
Well, look who's playing, so, you know.
It's true.
We have fun here.
What's his name, though? What did we name him? Was it Flip Waffle?
Flip Waffle's the name of the chickadee fire type, yeah, Flip Waffle.
Okay, it wasn't that then.
Poofles is the Wingull.
Oh, it is, okay.
And then...
What did we name the character?
I
realized...
Schloopel.
Yeah, right. because...
Ellipses mean Schloopel.
Mm-hmm. Silence equals Schloopel.
Yes, exactly.
the whole like having you play Emerald was probably not the best idea because Emerald's decently difficult, at least in the beginning.
That's what
if you know what you're doing, like it's not hard, and like once you get a little further, it won't be that bad. But
well, that's what I pay you for, so clearly.
Who knows?
No, that game was fun to.
But if you're enjoying it, that's the important part.
Oh yeah, it's a blast.
Oh
Playing
man,
games I wouldn't normally play ever because I don't have the capacity or like just wouldn't normally is
honestly, I think if you like ignoring like any story whatsoever because people don't really play Pokemon for the story much. Like I honestly think you would enjoy playing Sword and Shield a lot.
Yeah, I heard about.
And you have a Switch now.
Yes, technically I have.
Actually, that reminds me, we should exchange friend codes.
Yeah, I'll have to send that to you.
But
like tomorrow.
Well, I can send mine because I have I have it saved somewhere. But either way, it's fun. It's a good time.
Yeah, now that I finished Luigi's Mansion 3 and I'm almost done.
Oh, I still need to play that.
It's quite good.
I just realized, well, because like, so Persona 5 Royal's out, and the Final Fantasy VII remake, but I do have all summer because I'm still borrowing it from Michael.
Yeah, you're gonna emerge from like a vault like 30 years from now and be like, I can finally play other games.
Well, I basically like, I don't want to jinx anything because like when I played. When I did my last playthrough of the original Persona 5, I basically completed the compendium, so like collecting all the personas and everything.
Right.
And I think I might be able to in Royal, since I know what I'm doing roughly, I might be able to do a complete confidant run as well. So that's something that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Either way, I think I'm gonna cut it for now.
Cutting you off.
I don't know what I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna see if there's anything I'm forgetting, I guess, because I can check a map, because I'm at that point. Also, Super Famicom, something in Japanese, yay.
Yeah.
so thank you guys for watching. I'll make sure to upload this somewhere. This is gonna be one long one, because we've been going at it for 3 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's been fun.
But yeah, so I don't know, we'll see. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys either next Wednesday or Saturday. So, yeah.
See you later.
Bye.